Focus on what's at hand. That's not going to win or lose you a game. It does help a little bit, but they've just got to concentrate on what the job is at hand tonight, and that's ideally to keep a clean sheet.
And when Julien Laurent is talking about Barcelona last season in the quarter-final, Paris Saint-Germain lost the first leg at home by 3-2. They won the second leg in Spain by 4-1. And he referenced L'Équipe. Front page of L'Équipe this morning read, "Mission possible. Liverpool stand in the way of Paris Saint-Germain as Liverpool get us underway on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds for the first of 3 successive nights of European action." And we're also live on Radio Merseyside this evening as well, as McAllister bites into a challenge earlier, and then Kvaratskhelia lifts it across towards Hakimi, but Jota again is quick to close him down. Referee, though, who is Istvan Kovac from Romania, will just have a word with Jota as he caught Hakimi. It just wouldn't come down quick enough for Hakimi. The studs were showing from Jota.
Yeah, but he wins the ball as well, but in the European competition you're not allowed to do that. Hakimi actually kicks the ball against Jota's studs and then doesn't even get touched, but he's got to play on it as much as he can. But there's a difference straight away there, Deno, from last week. McAllister snapping into the challenge, then the next challenge, Jota was there to really put the pressure on Hakimi and making sure that he lets him know that he's there.
Norwich City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the Championship. Accrington Stanley 2, Newport County 0 is a latest score in League 2. Donnarumma in front of the Kop, all in green. Touches it to Marquinhos, he'll go across to William Pacho. They made 8 changes. Pacho was one of the 3 who retained their place in the starting lineup in Ligue 1 at the weekend. Liverpool with Salah. Salah left-hand side of the penalty area. Hakimi was quick, though, to come back goal side and dispossess the Egyptian. But Salah has won it back. Salah, left-hand side of the box, down by the byline. Helped out by Robertson. Infield to Salah. Threads it through. Gravenberch, edge of the area. Surrounded by those dark blue shirts of Paris Saint-Germain. And 2 minutes played, it's been quite frenetic. And now they look for Kvaratskhelia on this near side to left, but Konate comes across. I remember seeing Kvaratskhelia when Napoli dismantled Liverpool in Naples. He played on the left that night. Last week he was primarily on the right, then he switched, but he seems to have started on the left here tonight.
Yeah, he has started on the left, but what a difference this is from Liverpool with the press of Andrew Robertson high up the pitch on the left-hand side. Mohamed Salah retaining the ball, early pressure, all from Liverpool. But Kvaratskhelia, he will be the danger man. He will be someone that they don't want to allow to be isolated in 1v1 situations.
He's a terrific prospect, 24 years of age. They signed him for 70 million euros from Napoli. Helped Napoli win the title in 2023. You might have seen him in the Euros when he started for Georgia as the throw from Mendes for Fabian. You'd have seen him start for Spain as they won it, of course. Fabian with a cross from the left-hand side, and Robertson was tucked in, and he's turned it behind for a corner kick to Paris Saint-Germain on that far side, the right.
Far too easy. It's a simple throw-in for Paris Saint-Germain, and they switch off in midfield. They don't track the runner. Gravenberch doesn't know whether to go or stay with him. He allows him to go, and Ruiz finds himself in acres of space down the left-hand side.
Pacho is up from the back, Marquinhos is there, Dembele waits too. Blackpool have equalised at home to Cambridge. In comes the corner kick, headed out by Szoboszlai, fired back into the ground, then the little flick, but the flag was up on that far side anyway. Referee lets the play continue. Ball hit long downfield towards Salah by Alisson. He could still get there, Salah on the edge of the area, and then Mendes was forced to cover, helped out by Pacho on the edge of the area. It is breathtaking pace.
Yeah, incredibly quick, lovely distribution from Alisson. Credit to Hakimi, though, he read the flight of the ball, he just did enough to get a touch, and then he got a little bit of help from Pacho, who came round on that defensive cover to stop Salah getting him behind.
Van Dijk picks out the run of Szoboszlai, takes it high on the chest, pulls it back, edge of the area, arriving is McAllister, cuts it back, it falls to Salah, wow. And then it's deflected by Mendes over the crossbar. It looks a certain goal, it's a corner kick, 0-0.
How's he missed? How has he missed? It almost looks like an open goal for Mohamed Salah. The running behind from Szoboszlai is immaculate. Lovely little ball into McAllister. He fakes the shot and then he just drags the ball across the the 6-yard box, and Salah's there thinking it's a goal, and then it's deflected over the bar from Mendes. Quite brilliant defending.
No wonder Mendes got a slap on the back from Donnarumma, and it was a heartily slap too from that imposing figure, that 6'5" goalkeeper, the Italian international, because it looked a certain goal, but Mendes was there. It's a corner kick on this near side, the right. Liverpool all in red, playing from left to right. They play it short. McAllister gets it back from Jota, then delivers a ball deep, and it will run out of play over on that far side. Were you expecting McAllister to have a shot on goal, or did he do the right thing?
No, I thought he was going to have a shot. No, the move was brilliant from McAllister. He fakes the shot and then drives past the two Paris Saint-Germain players on the press, and then the ball is delightful. I mean, Salah thinks he scored, doesn't he? It's incredible defending. But the ball went out on the far side there, Deno, and it was so evident. Szoboszlai and Van Dijk were like, press. Make sure you don't let them out too easy. Make sure we're at them. Van Dijk with a mistake. Oh, gets away with it.
Barcola was breathing down his neck. Gets it towards Robertson. Plays the ball on the halfway line to Szoboszlai. Bypasses him actually around knee height. Couldn't control it. Burnley 0, West Bromwich Albion 1 is the latest score in the Championship. 5.5 minutes played. But already the tempo of the game, so quick.
Well, that's what we spoke about. Salah's away as well.
Salah gets away from Mendes on this near side, the right. Salah runs forward, edge of the area, tries to dink a ball through, it comes back towards Salah. Salah is still there, and then he's put it wide. No deflection this time, left-footed, couldn't hit the target, 0-0 goal kick.
Oh, Liverpool should be 2-0 up. What a start to the game this is, 6 minutes in, and Salah with another opportunity. He skins Mendes down that left-hand side of the Paris Saint-Germain defence. Salah on his left foot, he just wiggles his way through. He gets a little bit fortuitous as the ball comes to him, and he just tries to open up on his left foot to bend it into that far left-hand corner, and it just whistles past the post. But that's a great opportunity for Mohamed Salah.
Mentioned that West Brom are ahead. The details of it from Betty Glover.
And it's John Swift. Free kick just outside the box, slammed into the top left. James Trafford could not get there. It's Burnley 0, West Brom 1.
Burnley unbeaten in 23 in the Championship. Jota picks it up for Liverpool. Tries to run past Mendes, but Vitinha tidying up, and Vitinha to Donnarumma, who looked quite relaxed. He got away with that. He played it short, didn't get any elevation. Paris Saint-Germain at the minute look rattled.
Oh, they really do, and the ball boys are throwing the ball in quickly. They're talking about tempo here, and that is exactly what they're trying to create. Last week it was Paris Saint-Germain who were quick to get the ball back in play. Liverpool tried to slow it down, but Liverpool far too good for Paris Saint-Germain in these opening exchanges. But Liverpool are moving the ball extremely well.
On a slot with Gary Flintoff in Sports Report at the weekend, admitted that he had to give his players a half-time rollicking in that performance against Southampton at the weekend. It certainly worked. They came out full of intensity, and they've started really on the front foot here tonight as well. 0-0 though, still leading by a goal to nil from that first leg last week, but they're pressing very, very quickly, and Paris Saint-Germain are forced into quickly getting it away by Marquinhos. That was Diaz who was running forward, and now it's with Vitinha.
There's a clear plan of action here from Liverpool. Both full-backs playing as high as they can, and Andrew Robertson's always closing down Hakimi, and when it's on that right-hand side, it's left for Van Dijk to pick up Barcola. They're quite happy to go man for man at the back.
Derby County got their first win in 13 at the weekend, and it's not too bad how it started tonight. Lee Blakeman.
They're ahead again. Derby 1, Coventry 0. Harness with a free kick from the right, put in at the back post by Matt Clark. Derby 1, Coventry 0.
Inter leading Feyenoord as well by a goal to nil in the Champions League. They were leading 2-0 from the first leg. They will play the winners of Bayern against Bayer Leverkusen in the quarter-finals. The quarter-final schedule will be communicated on Thursday. Liverpool forward. Diaz's cross takes the deflection behind for a corner kick for Liverpool. Diaz whips up the crowd. They don't need whipping up.
Now, my word, what a difference this is. We talked about it before with Andros Townsend about how Liverpool would play. We're seeing the mirror image of what's gone on last week when you see that Paris Saint-Germain, they can't get out. They're going long every time. Liverpool, they're winning the first header, they're winning the knockdowns, they're rotating the ball, recycling it, making sure that they start attacks very quickly again. Paris Saint-Germain, they need to take a breath here because they're really suffering.
Salford City, incidentally, in League Two are down to 10 men as they're at home to Chesterfield. It remains 0-0. As Cheltenham have just taken the lead at Wimbledon by a goal to nil, also in League Two. You're up to date. 0-0 though in the Champions League. Tomorrow night we're at Villa Park. Thursday night we're at Old Trafford. We've got the Cheltenham Festival throughout the week as well on Sports Extra, and the feature race on 5 Live at 4 o'clock every day. Incidentally, Mark Chapman will present Gold Cup Day from the course on Friday from 1. But it's 0-0 here in the Champions League. Liverpool corner kick, far side the left. It's an in-swinger, it's curling. Van Dijk's downward header. Paris Saint-Germain haven't got it away. Luis Diaz couldn't get a shot away. Back out towards McAllister. Takes it, sends over the cross. Poured away by Donnarumma. On the volley, Szoboszlai right-footed. Couldn't keep it down, edge of the area. Into the Kop it goes. 0-0, another goal at Turf Moor. Betty Glover.
Burnley 1, West Brom 1. They didn't leave it long. It was sent into the area from Burnley. West Brom keeper Wildsmith caught it, let it go, and Fleming was there to pounce on it and send it in. Burnley 1, West Brom 1.
Good start from Liverpool, 10 minutes.
Oh, it's been superb. Van Dijk this time with the header from the corner. He heads it down, it hits the shins of Mendes, and you're thinking it's just going to fall to Diogo Jota, but he'd already advanced on the header, and the ball just went slightly behind him, found it difficult to adjust his feet.
He took the corner very, very short. Flags up on this near side. It was Donnarumma who touched it to Vitinha, and again there was a little bit of hesitancy. Is they going to be retaken for encroachment?
Yeah, I think it is, but you look at the position of Vitinha, he drops into that back three. This is how they played out from the back last week in Paris. They're very comfortable at doing this.
Vitinha plays it out with pace. He was too hurried. Jota was quick to close him down, and Liverpool forced that error. Luis Enrique's telling his players to come out, they're sitting too deep, so all of a sudden those dark blue shirts push out from Paris Saint-Germain. But that was Liverpool forcing the error of Vitinha. Here is Marquinhos. Fabian touches it back to Pacho, the Ecuadorian central defender who they signed for £45 million from Eintracht Frankfurt. Ball comes up to Dembele. Dembele now passes it out towards Barcola. Paris Saint-Germain could be in here. This is Barcola. He looks for Dembele once again. Konate gets the touch, but Dembele sees it over the goal line from close range. Paris Saint-Germain find parity. Their first real attack produces a goal. Dembele couldn't miss. They lead on the night, and it's 1-1 on aggregate.
Liverpool get the press wrong. They try and press the fullback Mendes, and he finds a delightful ball into Dembele, who just drops off Van Dijk and Konate. Neither knows who to go in with him, and then Dembele gets on the turn. He drives forward, feeds the ball out to Barcola. Barcola puts in a delicious ball. It's one of them balls where you know that Konate and Alisson are going to collide. They're going to find trouble. They clash into each other. Dembele jumps over the top of both of them and just passes it into an empty net. Against the break, Paris Saint-Germain find themselves ahead in this game.
There'll be a VAR check to see if he was onside. He looked like he was onside, didn't he, Barcola?
Yeah, I didn't see an issue with that at all. He's just so quick that when the ball comes into him, he just speeds away from Andrew Robertson, finds himself advanced.
And inadvertently, Konate, taking it away from his own goalkeeper, presented a tap-in for Dembele, and after the VAR check, the referee's whistle is blown, and Liverpool are behind. Accrington Stanley 3, Newport County 0. There's been a goal at St Andrews. Birmingham Stevenage, Sani Radravajula.
And the home fans are singing, we're going to win the league. Birmingham 1, Stevenage 0. Kieran Dowell cool from the spot. A second successive penalty for him. Birmingham 1, Stevenage 0.
Well, there's the threat from Paris Saint-Germain.
That's what they've got. They've got pace in attack, whether it's Dembele, Kvaratskhelia or Barcola. But Liverpool, they allowed them to get out from that press far too easily. Dembele, he was afforded the freedom of Anfield, which you cannot do with that forward line.
The game is living up to every expectation, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it just? But Liverpool, when the actual move, when it fell down and allowed Paris Saint-Germain to get a foothold in the game, came from their own throw-in, and Trent Alexander-Arnold went back, and I'm thinking, just continue to look forward as much as you can. Don't allow them to get set.
Sorry, Stephen. Konate's long ball picks out Diaz. He gets the shot down and away off his left boot, but he was quickly closed out, and it's gone into the Kop, and it will be off target. It was a lovely forward ball by Konate, and in the end Diaz couldn't get there. Diaz's form, actually, if you look at it, he scored 12 goals in his first 24 appearances this season, but since the turn of the year he's only scored 1 in his last 16.
Yeah, spoke before about whether he would have played if Gakpo had been fully fit. I don't think he would have. I think it's one of those positions at the moment where he's finding himself as almost a backup player on that left-hand side. Flatters to deceive at times as well with what he does on the pitch.
5 Live, BBC Sounds and also on Radio Merseyside. Liverpool are behind, but Salah infield to Jota. Pacho gets a foot into the challenge, picked up there by João Neves. Fabian gives it, and then all of a sudden weaving their way forward towards Kvaratskhelia, passes the ball back, the Georgian international. Mendes, the left back, now towards Pacho inside his penalty area. Marquinhos touches the ball forward. This is Vitinha. João Neves, it went behind him. Loose ball picked up by Szoboszlai, wraps it into the feet of Salah, plays it towards McAllister, opens it up towards that left-hand side. Robertson back towards Van Dijk. Every Liverpool player is in the Paris Saint-Germain half as they trail on the night here on 5 Live, a quarter of an hour played. Van Dijk, the Liverpool captain, to Konate. Alexander-Arnold is high on this near side. Konate will continue to come forward, and he shoots, and it's spooned behind by Donnarumma. It was a right-footed effort, 25 yards out. Donnarumma made the save, bounced just in front of him, one-handed behind for a corner kick.
Yeah, no one expected that in the Paris Saint-Germain team. They didn't expect Konate to drive forward so much. Fabian Ruiz steps off him, and then he just hits that shot low, and it bounces just in front of Donnarumma. Really difficult one to deal with. The keeper does well because he doesn't try and catch it, just pushes it round the corner, round the post to safety.
All of his 5 goals for Liverpool have been headers. Nobody would expect Konate to let one fly from that sort of distance. 16 minutes play. Liverpool corner kick, far side the left. It's another in-swinger. Donnarumma gets his fist to that, right-handed, punched away, played back in from the left. Van Dijk had stayed forward, knocked back into the penalty area, cleared on the half volley by Marquinhos. And this is where Paris Saint-Germain can be a threat, but that was well dealt with by Gravenberch. And then Alexander-Arnold comes away from 2 Paris Saint-Germain players, but then he's caught in possession. And now all of a sudden, on the counter-attack of Paris Saint-Germain, ball threaded through. This is Barcola, looks to go round Alisson. Alisson makes the save with his legs and then smothers the ball. Liverpool got away with that.
Yeah, they certainly didn't. Trent Alexander-Arnold trying to overplay, trying to take people on in midfield. Just played a simple ball because that is where Paris Saint-Germain want you to lose the ball. They want that turnover to allow the 3 forward players to have a free run.
Here is Salah running at Mendes. Mendes stands tall in the challenge and then shows his strength. But then he concedes the corner. Last touch came off the Portuguese international. And he picks up the ball, but Liverpool have a corner on the right.
Brilliant from Alisson again. That ability in 1v1 situations as Barcola came inside. He tried to almost go round Alisson. Alisson had read the situation, just pivoted to his right-hand side and then was able to nullify the situation, gets low down and then stops the ball with his legs from going in the goal. Luis Enrique down in front of us, jumping about. He knew that was a big opportunity.
McAllister takes his time in front of the Corp on this near side, the right, to place the ball down in the quadrant. Paris Saint-Germain have every blue shirt back inside their penalty area. This will be right-footed. It should be an outswinger. Indeed it is from McAllister. And Jota did ever so well to get his head onto that. Just a little bit behind him, but just couldn't keep it down over the crossbar goal kick.
Yeah, just leaning back ever so slightly as it came into him. Diogo Jota finds himself free. Perhaps Paris Saint-Germain wanted a foul. Andrew Robertson and Marquinhos in the middle of the goal. Would it have stood had it have gone in? I think it would have. I think Marquinhos went down to ground a little bit too early, too easy, sorry.
Last week, as you will know only too well, Liverpool mustered just 2 shots in comparison to the 27 from Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool so far have already had 3 openings in this game, 18 minutes played as they trail by a goal to 0. Szoboszlai coming forward, holds off Fabian, the 2 number 8s. Alexander-Arnold on this near side goes back to the halfway line. Dembele runs towards Konate. Konate again brings it forward, leaves it then for Gravenberch just in from the right touchline. Szoboszlai plays it back. Alexander-Arnold is on the halfway line. And then he waits and plays it forward. Mendes, though, gets himself in front of Salah. And here is Pacho. Lets it go across his body, but he's comfortable at that. And Marquinhos then will play the ball forward. And Neves helps it out towards Hakimi. Up towards Barcola. The little flick inside. Neves is onto it. Hakimi's continued in his run, but it's stopped by Van Dijk just inside the Liverpool half. On the left now for Liverpool is Luis Diaz, who tries to get away from João Neves. And then he fires it across, but it strikes the back of Fabian. And then Hakimi plays it towards Barcola, and Barcola will carry the ball over the halfway line, and he'll run forward at pace and then just gliding across was Van Dijk, out for a throw.
Yeah, but he couldn't get anywhere near. Ryan Gravenberch was trying to get near Barcola. He couldn't get anywhere near him to try and help Van Dijk out. Just a heavy touch allowed Van Dijk to step in.
Colchester United and Port Vale in League Two, both are actually on unbeaten runs, 11 match unbeaten runs, but it's Colchester who lead Port Vale by a goal to nil, and Norwich City in the Championship have got a second goal. Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. This is the Champions League on BBC Radio 5 Live. We're in the 20th minute, but that Dembele goal in the 12th minute has given Paris Saint-Germain the lead.
Doesn't tell the full story though, does it? Liverpool should have been 2-0 up. Mohamed Salah with two glorious opportunities.
The Mendes way that he got back to stop that goal-bound effort from Salah, who's up against Mendes now on this near side, the right, slips it into the path of Alexander-Arnold, and just coming across was Pacho, and he's marshalled it safely enough and out for a goal kick. But you're thinking that Salah, and in his career, no goals in 3 against Paris Saint-Germain. He's never gone longer against any one club in his European career, but he's much more involved tonight than he was a week ago.
Oh, he certainly is, and he's had the beating of Mendes a couple of times, but he's quick, Mendes. He's an exceptional defender. He struggled earlier on in the season, but he's grown and he's got better in 1v1 situations, very physical in the way that he plays.
Signed him from Sporting for 38 million after a loan in 2022. Over 100 appearances now for the club as Donnarumma, all in green, clears it downfield. Konate backpedals, his header forward. Szoboszlai's header actually goes towards Dembele, but somebody was coming back from an offside position, and therefore it'll be a free kick to Liverpool inside their own half. But Konate takes as the Parisian support, who are vocal, vociferous. Some of them are even bare-chested on this chilly night on Merseyside, and making all the noise at the moment. The ball floated out towards Salah, kept in play by Alexander-Arnold, hooked downfield. Pacho's header forward. Alexander-Arnold is quickly onto it, can't get past Mendes on this occasion. Fabian back towards Mendes, good footwork by Mendes, then they lose it. Jota quick to seize on that for Liverpool, with his back to goal just outside the D, ran into a bit of a cul-de-sac, and Paris Saint-Germain can get it away. They're tidy in the midfield. Hakimi comes out to help out, but there is Luis Diaz, takes it away off his toes, and Liverpool are back in possession. Yeah,
outstanding from Luis Diaz. He had to make sure that he timed that well, because if Hakimi got away, then they were a 3v2 on that right-hand side, the Paris Saint-Germain team. This game, it slowed down ever so slightly, but every now and again there's just bursts of quality that come out. That lovely little play in midfield from Paris Saint-Germain. Liverpool a little bit wary of pressing too hard because they know that they're good in midfield.
That's the voice of Stephen Warnock, who's with us here on BBC Radio 5 Live tonight. Wimbledon have got an equaliser at home to Cheltenham, 1-1, and in League One, Crawley Town 0, Charlton Athletic 1, Nathan Jones' side. They've only lost 1 of their last 11, and they have taken the lead at Crawley. Paris Saint-Germain with Marquinhos, their captain, out towards Hakimi, far side the right. Szoboszlai with interception. Liverpool, though, don't get hold of the ball and they lose it. But then they win it back again with Szoboszlai, his forward ball. João Neves was running back across his penalty area, back past to Donnarumma, sliced someone in the air, headed forward by McAllister, directed out towards Salah. Time to control the ball, play it back towards Gravenberch, goes inside. McAllister 30 yards out, lifts it into the penalty area. Robertson tries to get on the end of it, comes out towards Jota, and then the Romanian referee said there was a foul there by Robertson on Hakimi, and that will be a free kick to the French champions.
He wanted the ball a little bit earlier, Andrew Robertson. He'd made the run a couple of seconds earlier, and McAllister only spotted him late on. I don't think there's too much in that challenge from Andrew Robertson. Goes up into the back of Hakimi. Hakimi wins the header, but goes down far too easy. But that'll be the tactics from Paris Saint-Germain tonight.
Well, at the moment, it's certainly for Luis Enrique. His side are ahead on the night. It means 1-1 in aggregate. Still a long, long way to go before we even contemplate the possibility of extra time. As Donnarumma goes long, Van Dijk heads it forward. Jota, his little touch with the head goes to Vitinha, who's already doing better than when he did when he came here during that loan spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers. They lost 4-0 at Anfield that afternoon when he was December 2020. He's in the midfield, they pick it up. They pass the ball to Dembele, just finds that area of space inside the centre circle. Out to Kvaratskhelia, coming in off the left touch line, edge of the area, back inside to Dembele. Szoboszlai was running back to take it away from him. Pacho, though, is forward. His header goes straight to Gravenberch, uplifted towards Salah. Mendes got there first, and Paris Saint-Germain see it back towards Donnarumma. Tell you what, you can't call it at the moment, the time.
No, you can't, because you're looking at Liverpool and they've created opportunities, but there's just that feeling that PSV on the break, on the counter, have that quality in 1v1 situations.
Ball is rolled out to Hakimi, who joins the attack on that right-hand side. All of a sudden comes to a nice, gentle pace where they're passing it around very steadily. Up towards Mendes, and it's off the chest on this near left-hand side. Mendes then delivers a cross, but it's too deep. Bolton Wanderers have just equalised at Bristol Rovers in League One. Bristol Rovers 1, Bolton Wanderers 1. Liverpool, though, behind to that Dembele goal. Dembele, who now 24 goals in his last 19 appearances. Well, 18 and a bit.
It's probably his easiest one as well.
Yeah.
Simple tap in from what, 2 yards, if that.
29 goals for the season. He's having his best ever season. His previous best was only 14. There's Konate.
Brilliant. Now he's committed. He's took the midfield, the press out of the forward line.
Out to the left it goes for Robertson. It was crossed. Jota was trying to get on the end of that. Pacho, though, got the header away. It was a well-timed header by Pacho. Jota behind him was already actually in mid-air, trying to latch onto that with a flying right-footed kick. Chesterfield are leading the 10 men of Salford City by 1-0 in League Two. Salford City 0, Chesterfield 1. Liverpool trailing, though, here in the Champions League. 25, almost 26 minutes played. Robertson goes to ground. João Neves, no foul, says the referee. Hakimi with a back pass. Marquinhos to Donnarumma. And Donnarumma, falling back onto his heels, had to clear it long out for a throw.
Really good pressure from Liverpool on the back line. That's where they're having the success, closing the back line down. In midfield it's a little bit more difficult because they have better quality on the ball. That's why they're midfield players. But that passage of play from Konate, when it's cleared out to him, the easy thing to do is play long, but it doesn't take pressure off your team. It becomes a fight then, it becomes a battle. When he drives through that middle, you're then asking players to come out of positions to go and close him down. That then frees up midfield players. It allowed Liverpool to progress up the pitch. That's bravery on the football. It was brilliant from Konate.
Stephen Warnock with the insight, and you'll be able to see more of his analysis on Match of the Day's Champions League programme tomorrow, 10:40 on BBC One. You are appearing on the sofa after all, aren't you?
I am,
yeah,
yes.
Good.
Myself, Theo Walcott and Julian Laurent.
Right. That's on BBC One tomorrow night with all the highlights of the Champions League. It's a mere formality as far as Arsenal are concerned. Aston Villa will hope that they don't come unstuck with that comfortable cushion that they've got against Bruges. Bruges, Aston Villa, of course, the winners of whoever comes out on top of this tie. As Donnarumma, right-footed with a goal kick. Konate's header, scooped up in the air by Pacho. Szoboszlai heads it, drops towards Jota. Diaz is ahead of him. Here is Diaz, out to Salah, right corner of the area, slight miscontrol. Passes the ball back, Alexander-Arnold joins the attack. His forward ball, Gravenberch, edge of the area. Back towards Alexander-Arnold, a little bit behind him. Couldn't get a full chip into the penalty area, and then Gravenberch will head it back towards Szoboszlai, who stayed out on this right-hand side. Liverpool still trail on the night, 1-1 in aggregate. Konate, Dembele closing him down. Alisson all in yellow midway through his own half. Van Dijk, who was having a good talking to with the referee earlier, as Alexander-Arnold passes the ball forward and Salah's onto it. Salah into the penalty area, the cross too close to Donnarumma. Rather than catching it, he pushes the ball away. Liverpool still on the edge of the area. Robertson does well, into the box he goes. Crosses Szoboszlai's there, Donnarumma catches it this time.
Jota caught on his heels ever so slightly. It was a good ball from Andrew Robertson, but he is a worry, isn't he, Donnarumma? There's always, you feel like there's an error in him. Really easy cross comes in and he decides to parry it, but he doesn't parry it far. It's a yard in front of him. Strange decision from the big Italian goalkeeper.
Chesterfield have got a second goal against the 10 men of Salford City. Salford 0, Chesterfield 2. That was a lengthy conversation earlier that Van Dijk was having with the Romanian referee, Mr. Kovac. I could only think he was complaining about the free kick that wasn't given in his favour, but in the end the referee said, look, go back.
Yeah, quite possibly. You've got to try and talk to the referee, try and get him onside as much as you can.
Liverpool, incidentally, have failed to score in only 5 of their last 46 games in European competition. They normally manage to find a way. They've had 3 good opportunities already. They weren't able to take them just yet, as they trail still, and it means it's 1-1 on aggregate as we are now 15 minutes away from half-time. Mendes comes forward from his left-back role. Szoboszlai will run towards him. He hits it for the run of Barcola. It was the direction was right. It was just floating away from Barcola. Wasn't that far away.
That was some ball. Absolutely beautiful. That was like one of your 4 irons, Deno.
Oh, I only wish. Here is Gravenberch to Robertson. Robertson hits a left-footed ball looking towards Diaz. Donnarumma will let it come back into his penalty area, and then he picks it up, and then Pacho just says to slow it down. He throws the ball out to that far side for Hakimi. Not too sure Hakimi was expecting that. Robertson helps Liverpool in possession. Bouncing ball up towards Jota, lets it settle, lifts it into the penalty area, headed away by Mendes, tucked in. Szoboszlai is still there. Kvaratskhelia comes back to help out. Szoboszlai puts him under pressure. Kvaratskhelia loses his balance, loses the ball, and Szoboszlai, through sheer tenacity, helps Liverpool win it back. McAllister. Oh, that was a firm challenge by Kvaratskhelia. That was full of meaning.
I like it, because he's just been bustled off the ball himself. He lost that challenge in with Szoboszlai, and then it goes into McAllister, and he races into McAllister, wins a fair challenge, and then he just celebrates it after he wins it.
Half-time scores in the Championship: Cardiff 0, Luton 0, Middlesbrough 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0, Sunderland 0, Preston 0. Half-time at Derby, Lee Blakeman.
Derby 1, Coventry 0. Matt Clark on the end of a harness free kick at the back post to separate the 2 teams. Derby on their way to 2-2 against the league's form team as well. Derby 1, Coventry 0.
McAllister under pressure, loses the ball ultimately. They've quickly got it up towards Dembele. Dembele is away, and then the touch just showed too much to Alisson.
Wow, how quick is he off his line? But worrying signs for Liverpool again. Lost the ball in midfield. McAllister outnumbered. Quick, incisive pass. Trent Alexander-Arnold, who tries to slide and win the challenge, but the heavy touch from Dembele, and you can hear the cries of Alisson now.
Szoboszlai out towards Salah. Salah has a bit of space, works the ball in. Donnarumma flies at that, gets 2 hands to it to punch the ball away. Liverpool 30 yards out. McAllister towards Alexander-Arnold, finds Salah again. Salah enters the penalty area right hand side, pulls it back. Alexander-Arnold, first time shot blocked, comes out towards McAllister. Paris Saint-Germain are forced back now. Liverpool are in possession. Van Dijk, he tells Robertson to go out wide on the left, then plays the ball to Alexander-Arnold, who's gone into a central area. Jota spins away. Salah again, right corner of the box. Salah enters the penalty area. Mendes, though, will stand him up and should see this back. And there was a foul. Half-time then at the Stadium of Light. Adam Cottier.
Sunderland 0, Preston 0. Sunderland have been fairly tentative here. They have missed one big opportunity. Wilson Isidore planting a header wide from inside the 6-yard area. He should have scored. It's Sunderland 0, Preston 0.
They've reached the break at St Andrews in League One. Sonny.
1, Stevenage 0. Kieran Dowell cool from the spot, the difference. 243 passes to 59. It's been all Blues. Birmingham 1, Stevenage 0 at the break.
And half-time at Burnley, Betty Glover.
West Brom took the lead through a brilliant John Swift free kick, 25 yards out like a rocket into the top left. It took 4 minutes for Burnley to equalise. Fleming pouncing on a Wildsmith mistake, poking it home. Since then, West Brom have had to withstand a wave of Burnley pressure. Defended well, and at half-time it's 1-1.
Salah is in, Jota at the edge of the area. Diaz is there on the edge of the area. Jota still looks for the shot at goal, and left-footed, couldn't keep it down. Paris Saint-Germain still lead Liverpool by 1-0.
Yeah, lovely break from Liverpool. Simple ball down the right-hand side. Trent Alexander-Arnold finds Mohamed Salah, plays it into Jota, but he should pass the ball to Luis Diaz. He's always running away from goal, always off balance, trying to cut across the ball, try and hit the target, isn't able to do it.
You don't think history could be repeating itself, do you, with the chances that have been squandered by Liverpool and thinking of Paris Saint-Germain last week?
Yeah, quite possibly. You just get that feeling, but Liverpool are creating so many opportunities. I said it earlier on, you just have that feeling with Paris Saint-Germain, the quality that they have in forward areas.
Well, this season under Arne Slot, they failed to score on only 3 occasions in 45 games. The Forest defeat here, the only defeat that they've suffered at Anfield this season. Spurs away in the League Cup semi-final, and then Plymouth when they made those many changes for that FA Cup tie at Home Park. 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and also live on Radio Merseyside. But Paris Saint-Germain coming forward again. Barcola away on the right-hand side. Fabian is there, he cuts it back. Kvaratskhelia couldn't keep it down. What a chance that was. Right-footed. In fact, the referee has said that it's a corner kick. It must have taken a touch on the way through.
My word, what a strike it is from Kvaratskhelia. He's got his head in his hands. He's wondering how it's not gone in. But Barcola, outstanding play by him down the right-hand side, feeds Dembele, and everyone's waiting for him to play the ball across the 6-yard box. He doesn't, he pulls it back to the edge of the box, and as Kvaratskhelia hits it, it takes a little bit of a deflection off the toe of Ryan Gravenberch to send it over the bar. That's the warning for Liverpool.
And they've had a few. Paris Saint-Germain already lead by 1-0. Corner kick, far side to right, all in dark blue. Paris Saint-Germain with that corner kick, gathered in safely by Alisson, who then throws the ball out towards Luis Diaz. And Liverpool now can break. The red shirts are streaming forward. It's Luis Diaz running at the heart of the Paris Saint-Germain defence into Salah, tried to play it towards Gravenberch. It was behind Gravenberch as he made that run into the inside right channel of the penalty area, and Paris Saint-Germain get the ball away.
Oh, it was almost a classic counter-attack from Liverpool. Alisson starts it with almost a throw-in as he throws it forward to Luis Diaz, and he's getting tracked down by Pacho, the big centre-half from Paris Saint-Germain, but he releases it at the right time. Salah can't quite find that pass into his teammate, but again, it's encouraging from Liverpool, it really is.
It's an excellent game of football.
It's outstanding. I wondered how it would be beaten last week, but I'm enjoying this even more.
Alisson floats it up towards Salah, off the chest. Mendes is getting something on it with his head, runs out for a Liverpool throw just on the halfway line, fractionally inside the Liverpool half with 9 minutes to go to half-time. Alexander-Arnold then looks for the run of Gravenberch down this right-hand side. Gravenberch now level with the area, stops, has some support behind him with Salah. Salah passes the ball in field to McAllister. Alexander-Arnold down the right touchline, they find Salah once again. Salah not really moving very far. He's got Gravenberch in support, then they go back down the right. Liverpool being patient as the Kop finds its voice here inside Anfield yet again. Konate now in the centre circle, and Van Dijk to Robertson, left hand side over the halfway line. Diaz comes on the inside of Hakimi. Diaz continues to run in field. Hakimi does well to get a foot into the challenge to win the ball, helped out by Vitinha. No foul, and then Paris Saint-Germain give the ball away, kept in play by Robertson. Everything is on the line, and both sets of players are giving it all.
Yeah, I mean, they thought it was a foul, the Liverpool fans. I thought it was great defending from Hakimi in a 1v1 situation, but some of the challenges going in are absolutely brilliant.
The referee was certainly on hand, Istvan Kovac. I, like Stephen, thought that Hakimi had got a foot into the challenge, but now he's angered the Liverpool support inside Anfield by giving a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain, which is Vitinha will just stand over this. 6 minutes to go to the break. The Dembele goal is the difference between the two. Mendes to Kvaratskhelia on this near side, goes on the outside of Alexander-Arnold. Paris Saint-Germain will get another throw in front of the main stand. He actually took charge of a game earlier in the season, did Kovac, and sent off Dembele when they played Bayern Munich. But this is a different side that I saw at Arsenal. I think it was match day 2 in the league phase. They were rather tame that night, but since then, after a rather patchy start to the campaign, they're on a real momentum. In fact, that defeat against Liverpool last week is their only loss in their last 24 games, that stretches back to the end of November, as Pacho plays a ball, and a good ball too, to pick out Mendes, who's able to run forward from left back. He's got options left and right. He goes to the left. Kvaratskhelia now left corner of the area, into the box he goes. Kvaratskhelia turns, gets the shot away too, and Alisson makes the save.
Yeah, he did well, Trent Alexander-Arnold. He stood his ground, he didn't fall for the little shimmy of the hips that Kvaratskhelia threw in. But this is so fascinating, because you had Paris Saint-Germain building up from the back, and Vitinha is causing Mohamed Salah problems when they're in possession, Paris Saint-Germain, because he's dropping into the left-back position. Mendes is going high, and they're finding just a little dink ball out to Mendes as they're releasing him down the left, and it's a little bit of an outball for them.
6 minutes to the break. Marquinhos, the Paris Saint-Germain captain, out to Hakimi in front of the Sekeni Dalglish stand on that far side, as we just sit right to the halfway line here in the main stand, high up, feeling that chill come off the roof of the Kop away towards our right as McAllister runs forward, attacking that end. Little flick by Jota, didn't come off at all. Gravenberch though has it back, lifts the ball into the air out towards Robertson. Robertson looks to take it away and then sends over the cross. Marquinhos well positioned, his header to Hakimi, and then Dembele looks for the run of Barcola, cut out very quickly and swiftly. And a good job he do by Kanate, otherwise Barcola was away.
Yeah, read the situation really well. Barcola was ahead of him. He had to make sure that he timed that right, because if he didn't, he was in a 1v1 situation with Alisson with probably 50 yards to go to goal.
You can see why Arne Slot said that they are the most complete side that Liverpool have faced this season. Here is Kvaratskhelia running forward, running at pace, into the penalty area he goes. Looks to try and link up with Fabian. Liverpool get it away, Gravenberch up towards Salah, but he's midway through his own half. Straight away he's faced by Mendes, goes on the outside, but Mendes sticks to his task well and wins the ball away from the Egyptian.
He's got his number.
Mendes now inside towards Hakimi, who's gone central, edge of the centre circle, out towards Dembele, coming in off that right. Dembele with a shot, took a deflection, drops just wide. And that deflection takes it behind for a corner kick. Paris Saint-Germain still lead by a 1-0 on the night.
Yeah, the rotation between the forward players is exceptional from Paris Saint-Germain. Dembele finds himself on that right-hand side, comes in. Andrew Robertson does really well. He gets him, shows him inside, but then it's his teammate Alexis McAllister who just gets a little flick off the thigh, sends it over or wide of the post. Alisson was at full stretch, he wasn't getting that.
Corner is taken short on this near side. The left, Kvaratskhelia with the cross. Alisson will gather that ball in. But the threat every time Paris Saint-Germain comes forward is so evident.
The pace is breathtaking, and that's what Liverpool are finding very difficult to deal with at the moment. But this team is not only full of quality players, but it's full of athletes as well.
Dembele, Kvaratskhelia, left side of the penalty area. Kvaratskhelia comes to a standstill. Back it goes to Dembele. His chip ball forward will allow Alexander-Arnold to take it on the chest and runs forward. Short diagonal ball in field, opens up towards Diaz here for Salah. Diaz continues to run towards Salah, and then as he makes the run ahead of him, just didn't seem to open up at all then in the end, and then Salah kept the ball and then waits for the supporting red shirts to join the attack.
Pacho did well, he stayed with the run of Luis Diaz, just didn't allow that pass to be made from Mohamed Salah. Salah did the right thing, he just retained the ball, didn't force the issue if you can't find the pass.
Feyenoord have equalised in San Siro, into one, Feyenoord one. Jakob Moder has got that penalty for Feyenoord, but Inter are still leading 3-1 on aggregate. It's 1-1 here in this tie overall. McAllister with a shot, what a firm challenge that was by Vitinha. Didn't shirk that whatsoever. The right boot was pulled back by McAllister, and Vitinha with an excellent block challenge. 2.5 minutes to the break. Liverpool trail on the night. Robertson's cross didn't beat Marquinhos, falls towards Dembele, but Hakimi was flat-footed, and Liverpool will pick up the loose ball.
It's fascinating, this game. It's so end-to-end, it's just got so much quality in it as well, but there's going to be moments where the ball does turn over because of the pressure that both sets of players are putting each other under.
Liverpool with Gravenberch, then towards Van Dijk. Back to Gravenberch once it goes. You can hear Parisian voices on Radio 5. Robertson just couldn't help guide the ball into the path of Jota. Didn't get a necessary touch, and it runs through towards Donnarumma.
Well, you wouldn't have seen Andrew Robertson in that centre-forward position last week away in Paris, but such is the belief in Liverpool that they can hurt Paris Saint-Germain tonight, willing to make that run, and as you say, just slightly off making that touch into the path of Diogo Jota.
Liverpool unbeaten in 19 games in Anfield. They've scored at least 2 in each of those 19 games, where they've won 17 and drawn 2. They don't have to win tonight. A draw on the evening, of course, courtesy of that Harvey Elliott goal last week, would take Liverpool through to the quarter-finals. But they are, with 60 seconds remaining, still behind. As this is Van Dijk, left of the centre circle. The moment we have extra time. Salah plays it forward. Coutinho's header falls to Szoboszlai, goes down right on the edge of the penalty area. Seemed like he had his legs taken away from him. The referee, though, was certainly in a good position. Play continues. João Neves, they work it in a triangular passing pattern from a very, very tight area of the play and very congested. Now Hakimi can come forward. Still the boos reverberate around Anfield. Up towards Dembele it goes. Back to João Neves. Infield to Fabian at a walking pace. João Neves in the centre circle. Fabian, the Spanish international, forward ball. Hakimi links it up towards that far side, out towards Dembele, keeping the ball in the closing stages. Sheffield United 0, Bristol City 0 is a half-time score at Bramall Lane, as the ball by Marquinhos just reaches Fabian and then nicks it forward towards Hakimi. There's 1 minute of added on time, which we're now into here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Radio Merseyside also taking our commentary tonight. 60 seconds before Arne Slot delivers his half-time message.
I'm just seeing that incident again where Szoboszlai had the ball. I don't think it's really a foul. He kicks, actually, maybe Fabian Ruiz kicks through Szoboszlai, but he makes a meal of it. Szoboszlai goes down a little bit too easily.
Paris Saint-Germain still in possession. There's a push there on the back of Vitinha, and that will be a free kick to Paris Saint-Germain. But it's been an absorbing first half, hasn't it?
It's been brilliant, it really has. The quality that's on display. Dana, we're just seeing that incident again. The more I see it, the more I think he's kicked through the back of him and his foot was inside the penalty area. And that's a big call to make, whether he should have been taken across to the VAR screen.
Would you say there'd been a slight delayed reaction from Szoboszlai?
Yeah, but the hard thing is when it's slowed down, we only get the slow images to see whether we think it was a penalty or not.
Well, the half-time whistle has sounded and Paris Saint-Germain are ahead on the night. It was Barcola's break down the left-hand side. It was an inviting ball that forced Konate to take action, and with Dembele loitering, it was in the end just a tap-in for Dembele to give Paris Saint-Germain the lead, to prod it over the goal line.
Yeah, brilliant start from Liverpool in the game, and should have found themselves a couple of goals ahead, but such is the fear of Paris Saint-Germain's forward line. They broke once, they were under pressure for large parts of that first 10 minutes. One break showed the quality they've got. A little bit of a mix-up between Konate and Alisson, and then Dembele makes the most of it. But it's been a positive game from Liverpool in that first half, but danger signs from Paris Saint-Germain on the break.
It's a cracking tie, and we could go the whole way just as yet. But at half-time here at Anfield, it is Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1.
I think you said it towards the end of that first half, Stephen. It's who capitalises on a turnover more, isn't it? That's what it feels like at the moment.
Yeah, it certainly does, and you just get that feeling with Paris Saint-Germain's pace that they're more likely at times, because Liverpool are pushing men forward. I think the shape of Paris Saint-Germain at the back has been pretty decent at times, but when you think of Liverpool's opportunities, pretty much like the first game, there's been opportunities where just that final ball hasn't quite been right. It's just brilliant to watch, though, it really is.
Paris Saint-Germain, Andros Townsend, have probably actually had the better chances again. I'm just looking at some of the stats. They've had 3 on target compared to Liverpool's 1. Total of 10 attempts for Liverpool, 6 for PSG, but PSG's feel like they've been of better quality.
Yeah, and for me, watching that, it's been a masterclass from PSG in how to play out from the back and break the press. Liverpool, completely different side from the first leg, looking to press high up the pitch, almost forcing PSG into a turnover once or twice. But when PSG play through that first press and they're attacking their front 3 against Liverpool's back 3 or back 4, they're so threatening, and they scored once and they could have scored twice or even 3 times in that first half.
But both sides, in the way they don't keep hold of the ball, will let the other one in.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I'd say it's more PSG, the way they're pressing out of possession has forced Liverpool into 1 or 2 turnovers. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold lost it in the middle of the pitch. I think somebody else lost it and PSG broke, and it's the ferocity in which they're pressing and turn over the ball and then counter-attack with numbers. It's going to decide this game either way, like you said.
You're right there, Ian. Are you opening your sweets?
No, they were actually in front of Stephen. I was just moving them.
Oh, right. What, towards your mouth?
Don't believe him.
I mean, honestly,
know exactly where they're going.
The packet started to rustle. If ever there was an indication of don't talk to us anymore, I'm about to put some fruit pastels in my gob. That was it.
He's got the sweets, and then he's also got the betting up, so he's getting ready for Cheltenham tomorrow. He's in his element. He is so happy right now.
I think you'll find that's called multitasking.
Dave, what do you have?
So Nuno Mendes again has been the standout player for PSG. The most defensive actions on the pitch. He won 7 out of his 10 duels, 4 out of his 5 tackles, most interceptions, most blocks. Mohamed Salah so far in the ties completed 2 of his 8 dribbles versus Paris Saint-Germain.
I mean, the winger-fullback battles all over the pitch are great, aren't they, Andros? I mean, they are fascinating to watch.
Yeah, and he has been 135 minutes now. He has been almost perfect, Nuno Mendes. I think he's 22, 23 years of age and coming up against the most informed winger frontman in world football at the moment. And he's been absolutely flawless. It's been such a fascinating battle to watch in these first 3 halves or 3 quarters of the tie so far.
He was also the player that played it to Dembele's feet for their goal as well. Brilliant pass to break the lines.
Right, goal 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain at the break. 1-1 on aggregate. Let's bring you some goals that have got in the Football League. They're underway in the second half at Derby. The home side have been leading 1-0 now, Lee Blakeman.
What is going on with Derby, Mark? They're 2-0 up against informed Coventry. Harness, who got the assist for the first, has scored the second. Brilliant cross from the right on the byline by Jerry Yates, and 10 yards out, Harness just thumped it through the goalkeeper's legs. They hadn't won a league game, Derby, in 2025 before Saturday. They're now on their way to back-to-back wins. Derby 2, Coventry 0.
Big game at the bottom of the Championship, and the deadlock has been broken at Cardiff. Callum Chambers has put the home side ahead against Luton 5 minutes into the second half, and another goal in League One at St Andrews. Sunny Rajavajula.
A second for the league leaders. Birmingham 2, Stevenage 0. Second ball from a corner. Paik Sung-ho with time inside the box to steady himself to strike to make it 2-0 to Birmingham City. They are unbeaten this season at home. That'll stretch to 19 in League One. Birmingham 2, Stevenage 0.
Let's go back to the Champions League. Inter 1, Feyenoord 1 at the break. So Inter lead by 3-1 on aggregate, and have Bayer Leverkusen made any inroads into Bayern Munich's aggregate lead in Germany? Chris Coles.
None whatsoever, Mark. 0-0. Xabi Alonso said pre-match it was going to be a crazy game with his team going all-out attack, but it's just not happened. If anything, Bayern should be out of sight. Kane, Elise, Coman, all coming close. Leverkusen yet to register a shot on target. The closest they've come, Palacios, on the end of a cutback, couple of yards wide, and a Schick header into the side netting. They're not doing enough. Bayern remain in a very strong position. 0-0 at Leverkusen on the night, and Bayern still with that 3-0 aggregate lead.
Let's go back into the Championship. As things stand, Sheffield United going top this evening. Leeds play tomorrow. Katie Smith.
Yeah, Sheffield United 0, Bristol City 0. Kind of an intriguing first half. Really, Bristol City should be ahead. Dominated possession. And we had a moment, Armstrong basically with an open net, header at the back post, just a couple of yards out, and somehow Michael Cooper managed to get in the way and scoop it away. A brilliant save. United with some decent chances too. Saki had the ball taken from his feet as he was lining up a shot 8 yards out. Campbell on target as well. So as you say, as it stands, Sheffield United a point clear at the top of the table. Goalless at half time.
It's because Burnley are being held at home by West Brom. That's 1-1, and they're 5 minutes or so into the second half at Turf Moor. Elsewhere in the Championship, Middlesbrough lead QPR by 1-0. Tommy Conway got that. Norwich are 2-0 up on Sheffield Wednesday. Goalless between Sunderland and Preston. As I say, Birmingham 2-0 up on Stevenage in League One, as you've heard. In the other 7:45s, Blackpool 1, Cambridge 1, Bristol Rovers 1, Bolton 1, Crawley 0, Charlton 1. And Exeter have just doubled their lead at home to Mansfield, so they lead by 2-0. Half-time at Reading, it's goalless. Andy Stevenson.
Yes, and I won't keep you long because it's been a game with decent passages of play from both teams, but very few chances. The closest we come to a goal was a well-controlled effort from outside the area by Reading striker Jayden Wareham, which went just over the bar. And that's about it. Reading 0, Wrexham 0 at the break.
All 7:45 kickoffs in League Two. Accrington have had a great first half. They lead Newport by 3-0. AFC Wimbledon 1, Cheltenham 1. Colchester a goal up on Port Vale. Goalless between Grimsby and Notts County, and Salford are down to 10 and trailed Chesterfield at home by 2-0. In the National League this evening, they're into the second half in all of these games. Forest Green Rovers 2, Sutton 0, Oldham 1, Eastleigh 0, Rochdale 0, Altrincham 0 and Yeovil 0. Boston 2. Crikey, that's a heck of a journey for Boston on a Tuesday night. In the Scottish Championship, Queen's Park 0, Partick 1. Again into the second half in these games. In League 1, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 2. In Inverness 2, Stenhousemuir 1. And in League 2, Elgin 0, Spartans 1. 5 to 9, Dan Morsley has the news.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Good evening. Ukraine has backed a US proposal for a 30-day ceasefire in the war with Russia, subject to Moscow's agreement. The announcement follows talks between Ukrainian and US delegations in Saudi Arabia, at which the US also agreed to immediately lift its pause on Ukrainian military aid and intelligence sharing. Also, Keir Starmer has said he warmly welcomes the news coming out of Saudi Arabia this evening. In a statement, the Prime Minister said Russia must now agree to a ceasefire and an end to the fighting too. The owner of a container ship that collided with an oil tanker in the North Sea yesterday has confirmed the ship's captain has been arrested. Humberside police said a 59-year-old man was being held on suspicion of gross negligence manslaughter. One crew member still missing is presumed to have died. And one update just reaching us in the last few minutes. This is from the managing company behind the oil tanker involved in that collision. It says an initial review of the fuel released into the North Sea following that collision shows impacts have been limited. This is from Crowley, which manages the Stena Immaculate. It said that because much of the fuel was burnt off and because of evaporation of the jet fuel, initial reviews show impacts have been limited. It is still reviewing that. And finally, the Canadian province of Ontario will temporarily suspend its plan to charge a 25% tariff on electricity it sends to northern US states. The reversal comes after President Trump said he would double tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminium, a threat he's now dropped.
They know the importance of this cup final. The first major silverware of the season is up for grabs.
It's going to be a Liverpool-Newcastle Carabao Cup final.
Holders Liverpool are chasing a record 11th League Cup title.
And now we have to face Newcastle, which was a very difficult opponent for us.
The Magpies are looking to win their first trophy for 70 years.
Naturally, I think now for the big games, I think a lot of the players have been there before.
The EFL Cup final.
Live from Wembley.
Sunday from 4:30.
Ask your smart speaker
to play BBC Radio 5 Live.
This is 5 Live Sports.
The Champions League with Mark Chapman.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Paris Saint-Germain a goal up at Anfield, 1-1 on aggregate. Second half on the way. Accrington have got a fourth at home to Newport County, 4-0 there. And Blackpool, who had trailed at home to Cambridge by a 0-0, now lead 2-1, 10 minutes into the second half. We're at Villa Park tomorrow night for Aston Villa's Champions League game. They have a 3-1 lead from the first leg. John Murray will be there. Let's deal with the important issue first of all. I know you've been discussing this on your Last of the Summer Wine podcast with Ali and Ian on the Football Daily. Club Bruges or Brugge?
Bruges, I'm going with, as I have.
Because Ali's told you, Ali's said that, hasn't he?
In actual fact, when I covered them against Manchester City in the league phase, I did speak to a local there. I think we had this conversation on air, and I said to him, ran through all the various pronunciations, and at the end he said to me, and of course it's Club Brugge. To which I said, well, in the anglicised form, it is Bruges. You know, if you think back to our youth, Mark, when we watched Liverpool against Bruges in the European Cup final, we weren't calling them Brugge back then, were we?
And times change, John. Times change.
And similarly, the feature film starring Colin Farrell, what do we call that?
God, I've absolutely
in Bruges.
In Brugge, do we call it that?
I have no idea what you said. The films are not my area of speciality. Some people wonder what my area of speciality is, exactly. But there we are. But let's bring Andros in on this. I mean, Villa will be fine here, won't they, negotiating this?
I think they will with the 2-goal buffer, but I think the first leg Bruges or Brugge, sorry, John.
This is what John does to you, Andros. He can tie you in knots.
Messed with your mind there, Andros. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Bruges were the better side in the first leg. They were the side who were taking the game to Villa. They were very expansive, playing 3-1-6. Weren't really turning over the ball, but Aston Villa hit them in the last 5-10 minutes with 2 goals, and probably too much to overcome in the second leg for Bruges.
And home advantage has been key, John, to Villa in the Champions League.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's one of the best nights I've experienced this season, that win against Bayern Munich. That was something else, to be inside Villa Park that night. And I think generally, actually, in all competitions, they've only lost 2 matches at home. However, you know, that match that I referred to against Manchester City on that tense final night in the league phase for Manchester City, remember Bruges were winning 1-0 in that match. So they've beaten Aston Villa this season in the league phase. They've had a 1-0 lead against Manchester City at the Etihad, and I've liked what I've seen from them. They are the Belgian champions. They're quite a nice mix of youth and experience. Their coach, Nicky Hayen, is thought very highly of in Belgium. You know, we might see him somewhere else down the line, I wonder, as well. And we might see some of their players as well popping up maybe somewhere else next season. But Unai Emery today has been saying all of the right things that you'd expect, talking about how, you know, we shouldn't forget that Aston Villa lost a 2-0 lead against Celtic at Villa Park in the league phase, although they eventually went on to win. He says they have been practicing penalties in the build-up to this tie.
And he also has options, Andros, doesn't he? You know, with Emi Martinez back after injury, Amadou Onana back after a month out with the hamstring injury, on top of obviously their transfer window signings in January.
It's incredible to see the squad that Villa have amassed over the last few years, from where they came back up to the Premier League to now. And even still, he's resisting and temptation in most games to start Asensio, who's a world-class player who's played for one of the best sides in the world. So they've got such an array of talent to choose from.
Andros for the moment, thank you. Statman, thank you. John, I'm going to have to let you go because in the anglicised version, Paris Saint-Germain are just coming back out at Anfield.
Paris Saint-Germain, you mean?
Here are Stephen Warnock and Ian Dennis.
I'm glad I didn't get involved in that. Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1, and Liverpool's players making a little bit of a warm-up. They're out, no changes have been made. Paris Saint-Germain just coming out now. Neither they have made any changes either. So Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Marquinhos, Pacho and Mendes, Fabian, Vitinha, João Neves, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, the goal scorer, and Barcola. Paris Saint-Germain are leading by 1-0 on the night as the Romanian referee blows his whistle and the game restarts. Liverpool then defending the Kop in the second half, all in red, with Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Van Dijk, Konate and Robertson. A midfield of Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and McAllister, Salah, Jota and Luis Diaz, who's quickly on the ball here now. He tries to come on the inside of Marquinhos. Marquinhos is shown a yellow card, and Marquinhos will miss the first leg of the quarter-final should Paris Saint-Germain go through. And who knows, that could be a quarter-final tie against Aston Villa, but he will be missing it through suspension.
Yeah, he felt he had no option. Luis Diaz had just nipped inside and was potentially going to be driving towards the penalty area. Arm across the chest, brings down Luis Diaz. Early opportunity now for Liverpool to put some quality in on this set piece. They've caused Paris Saint-Germain a couple of nervous moments in the first half from set pieces.
So like a rugby union fullback, very precise strides from Andrew Robertson. It's left-footed, the free kick comes in, headed out by Mendes. That ball is won by Dembele. The inside it goes, and Hakimi now can release Kvaratskhelia. Paris Saint-Germain are on the counter-attack here. Vitinha was going ahead of him, back inside to Hakimi. His shot is charged down by McAllister. Liverpool almost give the ball away on the edge of the area. Vitinha snapping away, biting at the heels of Gravenberch. There is a turnover in play, and once again, just as the game started, the tempo's ferocious.
Yeah, it really is. End-to-end action, a quick breakaway. Liverpool will have been delighted that Hakimi decided to take the shot on, because there was a ball to the right-hand side and Dembele had just pulled on the shoulder of Andrew Robertson into the 1v1 situation against him.
Because Mark and John were talking about Bruges and how to pronounce it, whether it's Bruges or Brugge. Not too sure whether he gave you the other latest scores in the Football League. So just for housekeeping, Cardiff 1, Luton 1, Middlesbrough 2, QPR 0, Grimsby 0, Notts County 1, and certainly didn't give this one, it's just gone in. Salford City 0, who are down to 10 men, Chesterfield 3. That is in League 2. Busy night of in the Football League. We'll keep you across it here on BBC Radio 5 Live. Radio Merseyside are also with us as well for our commentary here inside Anfield tonight. As Paris Saint-Germain playing from left to right, 2.5 minutes into the second half, out towards Dembele. Dembele can't pass the ball in field, comes towards McAllister, turns, Robertson chips it in field, so Boslai can't get there. Header into the path of João Neves from Fabian. Now it is with Dembele, whose low cross is cleared by Konate by about the penalty spot. Pacho was clearly holding Jota. The free kick is given in Liverpool's favour, but no action taken against the other central defender.
Yeah, I think he wanted a yellow card there, Diogo Jota, on Pacho. I don't think it was. I think it was just a strong physical challenge between the two players. A little bit of arms round the chest maybe, but it's not a yellow card.
Stephen Warnock, former Liverpool and England defender, who's with us here on 5 Live. Alexander-Arnold, Liverpool are attacking, far side the right. Salah, Alexander-Arnold goes ahead of the Egyptian, who he waits and then passes the ball all the way to Gravenberch, who's about 6 yards inside the Paris Saint-Germain half. Barcola, who is currently the central of the front three, puts pressure on Konate, holds him off. Robertson, back then towards Van Dijk. Still has Barcola running towards him. Down the line he goes on this near side. Diaz gets the ball back from McAllister, but runs into some trouble. Dispossessed by João Neves. Dembele then gives it away. McAllister. The pace of the game is unrelenting. Free kick against Liverpool for a foul on Dembele.
Yeah, they keep on getting caught in possession. Liverpool at times not playing a simple pass. See what's in front of you and make that pass. Trying to dribble too many times, and Paris Saint-Germain's pressing is outstanding in that middle of midfield. It really is.
Arne Slot watching on in that technical area, a little bit more animated than Luis Enrique with his arms folded. He always exuded an air of confidence, didn't he? Well, the whole Paris Saint-Germain camp did, that they could turn around that slender deficit from a week ago.
Yeah, huge belief coming to Anfield that they could hurt them. The comments made about Liverpool that they didn't think they were as good as Arsenal and Bayern Munich, and then also just that they thought they were far superior to Liverpool in every aspect.
Bristol Rovers 2, Bolton Wanderers 1 is the latest scoreline, and Sheffield Wednesday have got a goal back in the Championship. It's now Norwich City 1, Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 1 at Carrow Road. Kvaratskhelia picks it up on that far side, the left, on the halfway line. Mendes will play the ball inside, and this is with João Neves, gives it to Vitinha, his fellow Portuguese international, runs along the halfway line inside the centre circle. Vitinha is able to keep coming forward, and then all of a sudden Dembele, there was a man over in Mendes, it was played behind the left back, slips it back into the path of Dembele. Dembele looks to shoot and then tries to go on the outside of Alexander-Arnold, who clears it up towards Salah, but Vitinha recovers, slides across and puts it out of play for a throw. There's been a goal at Reading in League One. Andy Stevenson.
Harvey Nibbs has scored a penalty for Reading, awarded when Jaden Wareham tried to cut into the area and was brought down. It's Reading 1, Wrexham 0.
Reading unbeaten in 9. Goal at Sunderland in the Championship. Adam Cottier.
Preston North End have scored here. Emil Rees shuffling the ball brilliantly onto his left foot outside the box, and a fitting shot into the far corner. Sunderland 0, Preston North End 1.
This is the Champions League. Live on BBC Radio 5 Live. Tomorrow night, Aston Villa against Bruges. Villa lead 3-1 from the first leg. Thursday night, we turn our attentions to the Europa League. Manchester United against Real Sociedad, 1-1 from the first leg in San Sebastian. And to whet the appetite for all the sport throughout the day, we've got the Cheltenham Festival coverage on Sports Extra from 1. The feature race tomorrow and Thursday at 4 o'clock will also be on 5 Live. So that's the Queen Mother Championship chase tomorrow, and then Mark Chapman with a Gold Cup day live from the course on 5 Live on Friday. BBC Radio 5 Live, your home of live sport, as Vitinha turns inside the centre circle, ball over the top. João Neves had made the run, gathered in by Alisson, all in yellow.
I'm just watching this Paris Saint-Germain team, just pairing the way that they press out of possession, the understanding when they're on the ball, where to play, how to play. Liverpool just found a way through them right now.
Bayern Munich are leading by Leverkusen by 1-0. Harry Kane has scored that goal. Details of it will come in a moment, but we'll watch this Liverpool attack. Robertson's cross from the left-hand side, repelled by the Paris Saint-Germain defence. Won back by McAllister. Robertson tries to come on the inside, goes out for a throw. Chris.
A very simple goal for Harry Kane, Ian. He tapped it in almost on the goal line. Free kick played in. It drops to Kane, his 10th goal of the Champions League this season. Bayern have a 1-0 lead over Leverkusen on the night, and that is that for them because Bayern are now 4-0 up on aggregate.
Diaz inside the penalty area, crosses the ball. This is Alexander-Arnold! What a bullet of a shot that was. Szoboszlai goes down, back to Alexander-Arnold! Off the post, back Alexander-Arnold again! Szoboszlai! Liverpool are level! Now the flag's up on the far side. It'll have to go to VAR. Well, they had a series of chances. Alexander-Arnold was at the very heart of it, but the flag was immediate.
Yeah, and there will be a penalty appeal as well from Dominic Szoboszlai, but outstanding from Trent Alexander-Arnold. The first initial shot, then the follow-up, and then it's a lovely ball into the area from Trent Alexander-Arnold to pick out Szoboszlai at that back post. And he stooped his head down, Szoboszlai, and he was kicked in the head. I think it's the initial movement it's Luis Diaz right at the start of the move. He's half a yard offside. It's the correct call, but that'll pick this Anfield crowd up.
Just to give you an idea of the power of the shot by Alexander-Arnold, it rocked Donnarumma onto his heels. So as we heard from Chris, Bayern are leading in Leverkusen by 1-0, Inter 2, Feyenoord 1. So Bayern and Inter are on course for a meeting in the last 8 because Inter are back in front. A Çalhanoğlu penalty in San Siro gives Inter a 2-1 lead against Arne Slot's former side. So even if it hadn't hit the post as well, none of it would have counted.
No, it wouldn't. No, it was the initial first movement.
Here is Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai looking to try and link up with Jota inside the penalty area. Cleared away by Paris Saint-Germain. Won back by Alexander-Arnold. The game's on a knife edge. Liverpool are trailing on the night, but it's level on aggregate. Who can somewhere find that decisive blow as we're only 10 minutes into the second half? Alexander-Arnold from distance, right-footed. It was always on the rise from 30 yards out, right-footed into the Anfield Road end. Half of that is occupied by the Paris Saint-Germain support, who haven't stopped singing and dancing all night.
Oh, it's the same away in Paris last week. They just didn't stop all game, 90 minutes, continuous noise. But in the last few minutes, Liverpool have just started to find a few more gaps, have started to get a few more opportunities where they're getting shots away at goal. And that's definitely a positive. I just wonder how long Paris Saint-Germain can continue to press in the way that they have in this game.
Darwin Núñez is going to be coming on. He's just been getting instructions. He's just been told to warm up, so he's now going through his paces as he runs towards the Kop. Another goal at Reading. Andy Stevenson.
A fantastic second goal for Reading. It's their captain Lewis Wing drilling one home after some brilliant build-up play. What a start to this second half. Reading 2, Wrexham 0.
An unhappy return to Phil Parkinson, the former Reading player. Had they avoided defeat, Wrexham would have actually gone second. They play Wycombe at the weekend. Birmingham City, the leaders, 11 points clear of Wycombe, are still leading Stevenage by 1-0. It's an important night in the various divisions in the Football League. We'll keep you across it here on 5 Live. So as Núñez waits to come on, you notice that Gakpo is also warming up, as is Curtis Jones. Arne Slot, who's actually had a good record of when he's made changes in games this season, to good effect.
Yeah, they certainly have, and he had it at the weekend. They have it in the previous game away in Paris.
Here is Jota, forward. Touches the ball to Diaz, comes in off the left touchline, attacks into the penalty box now. Diaz turns, still can't get the ball away at the moment. They've doubled up on him. He fires it in low. Might fall to Szoboszlai. What a block that was from Pacho. Again, it was hit right-footed, right place, right time by the Ecuadorian defender, behind for a corner kick, and Anfield rouses itself yet again.
Brilliant from Luis Diaz. Again, gets to the touchline, pulls it back, he fires it across. Mendes can't quite get what he wants on it. He ricochets it into the path of Dominic Szoboszlai, gets his strike, but then it's Pacho who gets across to get the block in.
Bristol Rovers 2, Bolton Wanderers 2 is the latest score in League One. Liverpool then still trailing to that Dembele goal after 12 minutes, have a corner kick far side to right. Paris Saint-Germain have every blue shirt back inside their penalty area. This will be an outswinger from McAllister on the right. In it comes now. Downward header, Donnarumma! Sprawling save, all 6'5" of him, full stretch away to his right to claw it away.
What a save, and now here come Paris Saint-Germain. This is the danger.
Dembele on the right-hand side, Barcola joins the attack. It's an arcing ball in from the right. Barcola will keep the ball in play. Passes it, Kvaratskhelia waits on the edge of the area, touches the ball towards Vitinha. Vitinha has to battle and scrap for that, and Liverpool get it now towards Alexander-Arnold. His forward ball with the aid of a deflection reaches Jota, tries to spin away, leaves it now for Salah. Salah running at Pacho. Salah passes the ball. Luis Diaz arriving inside the penalty area, 6 yards out, pulls it back. Salah can't get it out from underneath his feet, inside the box, and Paris Saint-Germain get the ball away, end to end.
Wow, what an opportunity. What is Luis Diaz doing? Put your foot through it as it comes to you. He slows it down, he allows Marquinhos to come across and just nullify the danger. Magnificent break from Mohamed Salah and a brilliant ball into the path of Luis Diaz. And you're thinking, just hit it, left foot, right foot, whichever it is. But they defend it extremely well, Paris Saint-Germain. Opportunity wasted for Liverpool.
And what about the save from Donnarumma earlier?
Yeah, I think it was Andrew Robertson who got the header. Oh, it's not, it's actually Luis Diaz, because it just popped up on our monitors here in front of us. He heads it down into the ground, and he needs his full, what is he, 6'6", 6'7"? He needs his full frame, Donnarumma. Mohamed Salah's closing in on him, so anything spilled, it's a simple tap in for Salah. Outstanding save.
Sheffield Wednesday, who were 2-0 down at Carrow Road, have now equalised. Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 2. Anfield is rocking. They know how to serve up an atmosphere on a European night.
Yeah, I said before though, if you give them something to shout about, they'll get behind the team. And they've certainly done that in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Liverpool, they've been outstanding.
And Donnarumma with a very, very good save to keep out that Diaz downward header. There's been a lengthy delay there for Vitinha, who's now been told by the Romanian referee, Ispan Kovac, you've got to leave the field of play. He'll be off for a period of time for at least 30 seconds, as there's been a goal at Bramall Lane. Katie Smith.
And it's gone to the league leaders, to Sheffield United. Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 0. Tyrese Campbell finally breaking through the line, in on goal, sliding it past to the left-hand bottom-hand post. Sheffield 1, Bristol City 0.
Sheffield United then going top of the Championship, and a blow for Bristol City and their playoff hopes as Van Dijk spreads the ball out towards the right-hand side. Salah instantly lays it off towards Alexander-Arnold, who then delivers a peach of a cross. Donnarumma flies at it, fists it away, diving forwards with both hands at around knee height. Robertson diagonal ball, Diaz, forward ball, this is Jota. Jota still battling for it. Jota got the left-footed volley away, but again Pacho was so alert, got the block in. They've defended very, very well in situations like that.
Yeah, they have, because they read the ricochet extremely well, made sure that they dealt with it. Donnarumma coming out, chest pumps his teammate Pacho because he knew how important that block was. Liverpool then have a corner kick. McAllister will walk slowly across in front of the travelling support, and somebody's just thrown an object from that Paris Saint-Germain support in the direction of the Argentine, who places the ball down in the quadrant. Paris Saint-Germain have everybody back. Liverpool, remember, are still trailing on the night. 61 minutes played. McAllister, left arm aloft, right-footed corner kick. Donnarumma up towards Salah at the far post. The angle was tight, it was goal-bound, turned behind for another corner kick. Kvaratskhelia. Really good defending from Kvaratskhelia. He had to defend it because Mohamed Salah sees the opportunity, because Donnarumma comes off his line, punches it, he's out of his goal, and it's going in the near post, but for Kvaratskhelia. Sheffield Wednesday are now leading at Carrow Road. Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3 in the Championship. Liverpool trailing on the night here at Anfield. 5 Live, BBC Sounds and Radio Merseyside. It's a corner kick in that corner of the Anfield Road end in the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand with 62 minutes played. It'll be an outswinger from McAllister.
Paris Saint-Germain have got everybody back. In it comes from McAllister. Didn't beat the first man. Headed out by Vitinha. Helped further away by Dembele's header, but Alexander-Arnold running back will see it all the way back to Alisson. Alisson hits it forward. There is Vitinha to repel it with his head. Picks out Fabian. Out towards Barcola. The interception, though, there was Alexander-Arnold, who now floats a ball forward in the air. Cut out by Mendes, the left-back. Picked up by Vitinha. Forward ball along the ground. Fabian out towards that far side. The longer it goes with this scoreline, and the longer we leave it till the 90th minute, the next goal could well be decisive.
Yeah, it really could, and that's the way it feels at the moment. You just feel like the next goal could possibly win this game.
Accrington Stanley 5, Newport County 0 is the latest score in League 2. Barcola infield. Dembele back to Vitinha. Gets on the ball once again. Always looking to try and link up the play. Does the same for his country, Portugal.
Yeah, he looked like he was going to make a couple of subs on a slot, but since those subs were warming up, it's almost like, the response from the team in this last 10 minutes or so has been outstanding from Liverpool. So he's almost just told the subs, keep warming up, be ready when I call on you.
Huge game down at the bottom of the Championship. Cardiff outside the relegation zone. Luton Town next to bottom. Cardiff City 1, Luton Town 2. And Asgard, who there was a signing from Wigan Athletic, has put Luton Town ahead as Donnarumma has gone down. Is this a little bit of gamesmanship, time wasting, do you think, from the French champions?
Yeah, quite possibly. I'm just wondering why he went down and what the reason was. Was there any contact at any point? What we saw on Donnarumma, he did come out and punch the corner, and there seemed to be a collision. Whether it's something from that, it's just Liverpool fans trying to respond now to him going down, trying to pick the team again, pick them up as much as they can.
Queen's Park Rangers have reduced the arrears at the Riverside. Middlesbrough 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Donnarumma after some treatment. Play is about to resume here on BBC Radio 5 Live, where at the weekend our commentary at 3 o'clock will be Ipswich Forest, Bournemouth Brentford, and then the small matter of the League Cup final live from Wembley. Liverpool against Newcastle United at 4:30. Priority now for Arne Slot. He's getting past this Paris Saint-Germain side that still have that lead from the first half on the night. Level in the tie. McAllister picks it up. Short diagonal ball. Alexander-Arnold to Salah, midway through the Paris Saint-Germain half. McAllister comes under pressure from Dembele, gets away from it, and then lifts the ball into the air. Backpedaling off the thigh, taken in by Diaz. Looks to go on the outside of Hakimi. Diaz, though, Hakimi back goal side, scoops over the cross. Mendes tucked in, volleyed away then by Dembele, 25 yards out from his own goal. Paris Saint-Germain defending deep. Ball picked up by Konate, right-footed, hits it long into the penalty area. Good downward header by Hakimi to his keeper.
Yeah, the ball wasn't the ball, it was the one to Luis Diaz. That was the pass. Diaz is really fancying his battle, whether it's Hakimi or whether it's Marquinhos, down Liverpool's left-hand side, and the Paris Saint-Germain right. They cannot deal with Luis Diaz. It's just about that added quality in the final third when he does beat his man.
Kvaratskhelia, out it goes to Barcola, didn't have the legs, cut out by Alexander-Arnold, fortunate to get it back from Fabian, tries the second time, gets the ball behind Mendes for Salah to latch onto. Salah goes down into the challenge from Mendes, referee has a look at it, he's unmoved. The Liverpool crowd baying for a penalty. VAR, as a matter of course, would have a look at it. Meanwhile, play continues. Kvaratskhelia inside the centre circle towards Dembele. Dembele runs forward. Kvaratskhelia can't take it in his stride, and Van Dijk will get the ball up towards Jota. Marquinhos all over Jota. Free kick given in favour of Liverpool on the halfway line.
He's having a check now here, the referee. It's just come on our monitor again. There's a hand in the back, there's an arm across, there's a little coming together of the ankles. I think it's very similar to the incident in the first game with Konate and Barcola. He just gives that little bit of a nudge, but I think Salah goes down. I think he wants it. I think he's losing control of the ball. It's slightly behind him. Be very surprised if this is overturned.
Yeah, they'll probably stick with referee's call. The VAR, incidentally, is German, Bastian Dankert, as Cheltenham have got a second goal at AFC Wimbledon. AFC Wimbledon 1, Cheltenham 2. as there is a substitution for Paris Saint-Germain.
It's Doué who's come on.
Doué has come on, somebody who they signed from Rennes in the summer. They rejected something like a £50 million bid from Bayern Munich for the 19-year-old forward. So Doué has come on to the field of play, and it's Barcola who has been replaced. And it's like for like with Doué on this near side, the right. And here he is now, wearing gloves on this chilly night in Merseyside. Hakimi joins the attack. Edge of the area, Konate will get the ball away. We're midway through the second half, and still you can't separate these two sides. Liverpool winning in France by 1-0. Paris Saint-Germain are 1-0 up here on the night. None of the last 15 French sides to play away against an English team in Europe have won. They've drawn 1 and lost 14. That's what you call French disconnection. But here is Doué doing a little step over. Edge of the area now. João Neves into the box. He looked for Vitinha. Gravenberch had tracked the run. Jota gives it away. Hit the legs of Hakimi. Just over 20 minutes remaining. And still, you can't call it.
No, you can't. I thought Paris Saint-Germain probably edged the first half, had the better opportunities. But Liverpool have been better in this second half. They've dominated this second half. They've been by far the better team, created the most opportunities. Paris Saint-Germain haven't created anything of note in this second half, which is a positive for Liverpool.
Nunez is going to be coming on as Mendes scampers after a ball on the far side, keeps it in play but presents it to Konate to play it down the line for Liverpool. Szoboszlai, midway through his own half, touches it to Alexander-Arnold, who under pressure puts it out of play for a throw over on that far side. Final instructions then for Darwin Nunez to come on, maybe alter the course of the game just as he did a week ago.
Yeah, he'll be wanting to be more of a focal point in that top of the pitch. I think it'll probably be Diogo Jota who will leave the pitch. He's been ever willing. A lot of pressure. He's put the Paris Saint-Germain backline under. He works so hard for his team, runs himself into the ground, but Nunez will create a different type of panic for the Paris Saint-Germain defenders.
We're 20 minutes away from extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds tonight, as Doué just stabs the ball into the ground, bops up, allows Van Dijk to head it. Doué's little flick forward towards Dembele. McAllister was there. Van Dijk's clearance. Diaz will give chase. Marquinhos is the one who's got to react and go back towards Donnarumma, all in green. Out it goes towards that far side, where Mendes has support from Vitinha, the two Portuguese internationals, but snapping away was Alexander-Arnold.
He's in trouble, Alexander-Arnold. He's hurt himself there.
Off the field of play, landed awkwardly and has stayed down, crouching in a ball-like shape by the advertising hoardings. Liverpool temporarily are down to 10. Only now is he getting back to his feet. Remember the League Cup finals on Sunday.
Yeah, he fell awkwardly on his ankle. He twisted his ankle as he went to ground. See the movement straight away. He's come back on the pitch and gone down. He's in trouble.
So Alexander-Arnold is on the field of play, but he's sitting down now, and Arne Slot is desperate to get the fourth official his attention to make him aware of that, as in fact play will stop and Alexander-Arnold now can get treatment. There's been another goal in Germany. Chris Cole.
No doubt about it now, if there ever was. Bayern have a 2-0 lead on the night at Leverkusen. That's a 5-0 aggregate lead. Alphonso Davies, counter-attack from Bayern with Leverkusen throwing everything forward. Well found, 7 yards outside, footed it home. Leverkusen 0, Bayern 2, 5-0 Bayern on aggregate.
So Bayern going through. Remember, the final is in Munich, and they're on course to meet Inter in the quarter-finals. You've just seen it again. Did I catch you wincing?
Yeah, I did. Absolutely, you did. Sorry. That is one of those that when you fall on your ankle and then it gets caught underneath you and almost gets caught in the ground. That will be sore. He had his head in his shirt. He could see the agony on his face. I'd be very surprised if he carries on.
Mentioned that Colchester and Port Vale are both unbeaten in 11. They're playing tonight each other in League 2, and Port Vale have just equalised. Colchester 1, Port Vale 1. Goal at Sunderland in the Championship, Adam Cottier.
Sunderland 1, Preston 1. A brilliant goal by sub Romain Mundle, curling right foot shot in off the far post. 1-1.
So who would come on then?
Kwanzaa.
Quansah
he came on at the weekend, didn't he, in the right back position, and you just wonder whether Arne Slot was thinking maybe towards the end of the game, if they've got a lead to defend, that they might just bring him on in that right back position. So they'll lose that creativity if he goes off, and that quality on the ball.
So Gerald Quansah will be coming on for his 21st appearance this season after his breakthrough campaign last year. But for Alexander-Arnold, there must be real concern, because this is lengthy treatment he's receiving.
Yeah, there's, and you've got to make a decision whether you try and run it off or not. I don't think you can. Having seen that, that is so sore, the way he's sort of rolled on his ankle. He might carry on, but he won't last long if he does. Now, it has, he's run his race, that's him off.
Nunez has come on to replace Jota. Alexander-Arnold is now on his feet. Szoboszlai, that crowd reaction you can hear, that's Szoboszlai trying to whip up the crowd after that lull in proceedings. So we're going to have lengthy stoppage time here.
Yeah, Trent's on the far side, wondering why he's come off, and I think now when you see him you can see him hobbling across. That is a really bad injury for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Well, he's walking so gingerly. There is actually a stretcher making its way in front of the main stand. I wonder if they're just going to say, look, stay there and we'll place you on the stretcher for you to be carried back round to the dressing room. So that's a real concern for Alexander-Arnold. 16 minutes remaining. Paris Saint-Germain are still leading by 1-0 on the night. If there's no other goals scored, we'll be going to extra time here on this night of Champions League action on BBC Radio 5 Live as Quansah runs forward. Quansah into the area of space, his cross, and running back. Header on the run from Vitinha, concedes the corner.
Yeah, he's an athlete, Quansah. You can certainly see that. Little give and go with Mohamed Salah. I don't think they expected him to make that run. Salah just pokes it round the corner into his path and then tries to deliver the ball into the box. Defended well by Paris Saint-Germain.
Gavin Kelleher's brother has just put Colchester United in front. Colchester United 2, Port Vale 1. Bristol Rovers 3, Bolton Wanderers 2 is the latest score in League One. We've got about a quarter of an hour remaining. Liverpool trailing on the night. Alexander-Arnold only now making his way in front of the Liverpool supporters behind that goal at the Anfield Road end of the stadium. That's where the corner's going to come from on that far side, the right. They're lining up. As in it comes now from the right. Quansah with a header at the near post. Over the top. Off target goal kick. 1-0 Paris Saint-Germain.
What an impact that would have been from Quansah. First initially getting down the right hand side, delivering the ball into the box, then he makes a really clever run to the near post. It's not the greatest of corners from McAllister, but he makes it a great corner. Gets in front of Barcola, gets in front of Pacho as well, gets the header. Donnarumma, I'm not so sure he would have got there had it been on target.
Michael Stickland has been sent off for Reading. They still lead Wrexham by 2-0 in the 8 o'clock kick-off in League One. Notts County have got a second goal late on at Blundell Park. Grimsby Town 0, Notts County 2 in League Two, both looking for playoff positions. In fact, Notts County might still harbour hopes of automatic promotion. So, Liverpool on this near side, the left, with Robertson. Have a throw, level with the penalty area. Stretcher not required for Alexander-Arnold, who now makes his way in front of the main stand. Gravenberch. McAllister helps him out. Keeps it alive for Liverpool. Szoboszlai. Quansah joins the attack. Salah stays out wide. Right corner of the area now for Salah. Infield towards Szoboszlai. Less than 30 yards out from goal. Quansah staying forward. Paris Saint-Germain have retreated. Szoboszlai tries to run forward. Gives it away. Mendes will turn. Under pressure from Szoboszlai, pens him in towards the corner flag. And it's a Paris Saint-Germain free kick.
Doesn't need to do it. He's got nowhere to go. He's got no help anywhere around him. And Szoboszlai gets him out of jail. He just allows him to lean on him, goes to ground. Always going to get a free kick in that situation.
Quick look at the notes that I've made in the first half. Probably the chances were level, maybe 4 each in the first half. Paris Saint-Germain have created next to nothing this second period.
No, they haven't, but there's just still that air of around the stadium of the forward three of Paris Saint-Germain are so dangerous, but Liverpool have managed them so well in this second half. They've been so much better.
Van Dijk hoists the ball out of play and he apologises immediately, and it goes out for a Paris Saint-Germain throw. 13 minutes remaining. That Dembele tap-in, his 29th goal of the season, is still the difference. Arne Slot watching on, his bald head gleaming under the floodlights here at Anfield. Doué, the substitute, collects it. Closed down by Robertson. Infield to Hakimi. Nunez dispossesses him. McAllister's forward ball to Diaz. Luton Town have won away at Cardiff City. Massive result for Matt Bloomfield's side. Cardiff 1, Luton Town 2 down at the bottom. Robertson runs forward. Diaz is the out ball, left-hand side, back towards Gravenberch. Gravenberch to Van Dijk, fellow Dutchman, back to Alisson, all in yellow midway through the Liverpool half. Van Dijk closed down by Dembele, finds Diaz. Enrique balling at his players. Doué running back. Diaz runs forward. There was a foul there. Full time at Derby. Lee Blakeman.
Back-to-back wins for Derby. They've beaten Coventry 2-0. Matt Clark in the first half. Marcus Harness in the second. They're now just a point from safety, Derby. Derby 2, Coventry 0.
Coventry have been going so well. They'd won 9 of their previous 10 under the former Derby manager Frank Lampard. So Liverpool with 12 minutes remaining, still trailing on the night. We're 1-1 on aggregate in this Champions League tie. Liverpool, though, have got a free kick that Robertson is going to take. It is left of centre. It's a central position midway through that Paris Saint-Germain half. Robertson kills it in now. Downward header, off the post. Kwanzaa's header doesn't go in. Konate is there. Flag is now raised. It's the second time that Liverpool have hit the post in this second period.
You have to say it's a really good line from Paris Saint-Germain. The ball in from Andrew Robertson's an absolute delight. Well, I'm not so sure he is. Kwanzaa at that back post as it comes into him. He heads it, he's onside. I'm not so sure why the assistant referee decides to put his flag up, because as Kwanzaa heads it, he's onside. It comes straight back out to Kwanzaa. So he's the player who's in an active position. And no matter what happened in the middle of the park, they haven't touched the ball.
That would have been the most unlikeliest of sources of a goal for Liverpool from Jarrell Kwanzaa. The first one that hit the post earlier in the second half wouldn't have counted because Diaz was offside. That one, though, probably would. It's a charmed life, it would seem at the moment, is that Donnarumma goal. Liverpool with 10 minutes remaining. Can they find a goal in these remaining 10 minutes? I would think we've got probably maybe 5 more minutes of added on time too. Ball up towards Nunez. Nunez running forward. Not the same wavelength as Salah. Salah was flat-footed. He passed the ball into the inside right channel. Salah wasn't chasing it. Move breaks down. Goal kick.
Yeah, I think he should have backed Marquinhos back into his own penalty area. Marquinhos has been booked. Also, having him backing into his own penalty area, then he can't engage too much. He can't commit. You're asking him a question. He tries to play the ball to Mohamed Salah, and it's a poor ball from Darwin Nunez.
Liverpool have a throw. They want to take it quickly. Coming into this game after winning all 4 of their games at Anfield in the Champions League this season, Slot was looking to be the first manager of an English side to win his first 5 at home in the competition. But on the night, they trail. However, an equaliser on the night would be a winner in the tie when you look at the clock now with 81 minutes played. Van Dijk, his forward ball. Nunez is after it. Nunez will actually leave it for Diaz. He was conscious of being offside. He actually had a look towards his right, stopped running, but Diaz had stopped running because he saw Nunez after the ball.
Yeah, I didn't see the initial ball to see whether he was offside. I think the one thing that Darwin Nunez was thinking was, make sure that I get in the centre forward position. He's actually right, he was offside. He'd strayed half a yard and he thought his teammate was going to get there. The communication has to be earlier.
Goal kick is taken short. Vitinha chips it out towards Mendes, far side, up towards Kvaratskhelia, takes it, nice little turn there by Kvaratskhelia. But Kwanzaa is adjudged to have fouled him. Paris Saint-Germain take the free kick very, very quickly. And now Dembele coming in off the right touchline. Dembele to Hakimi. Paris Saint-Germain still have that slender advantage on the night here at Anfield. They go back, Liverpool are pressing. Mendes caught in possession by Salah, flags up on the far side. A goal at St Andrews in League One. Sani Ruduagila.
Stevenage have pulled one back. Jake Young off the bench late into injury time. The leaders having questions asked of them. Birmingham 2, Stevenage 1.
Notts County have won 2-0 away at Grimsby. It's finished Norwich City 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Norwich were 2-0 up at Carrow Road. Remember in the other game at the top of League One, Reading still lead Wrexham by 2-0. As here is Vitinha. Forward ball for Hakimi, the right back. Leaning into him is Van Dijk, and the referee on this occasion gives the free kick in favour of the Liverpool captain. You can feel how tense it is now inside the stadium.
Yeah, especially with how long's left to go. 6 minutes, and you look at that and you think, 6 or 7 minutes, sorry, and you look at that and think, Liverpool players will be edgy, the fans will be edgy, because they know now if Paris Saint-Germain are to score, it will knock them out. But also, you look on the flip side of it, you score a goal, you're through.
Salah, right-hand side, back to Quansah, the substitute. Passes the ball all the way back to Alisson. Couple of touches from Alisson. Right-footed, long diagonal ball towards Luis Diaz. Marquinhos is tight behind him. Tried to lay it into the path of Robertson. Move breaks down. Can they try and attack that gap vacated by Robertson? No, they can't. It goes out of play for a Liverpool throw in front of the main stand. Much to the annoyance of Luis Enrique, who slaps his hands against the side of his legs.
He knew that was an opportunity, didn't he?
Robertson holds off the challenge of João Neves, continues his run. Robertson, edge of the area. In it goes to Nunez. Nunez tried to square it towards Salah. Blocked. Comes to Diaz inside the penalty area. Diaz beaten out of the near post by Donnarumma and then volleyed away by João Neves. Van Dijk plays the ball early and plays it back down this near side to left. Robertson infield to McAllister. McAllister's diagonal ball. Salah waits. Salah with the cross. Donnarumma just does enough to get something on it with his hand. He poured the ball away, and it did enough to take it away from Diaz.
This has been brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Liverpool putting the pressure on Paris Saint-Germain, and credit to Donnarumma. He's had the answers, but this is testing that back line of Paris Saint-Germain.
Birmingham City have gone 14 points clear at the top of League One. They have beaten Stevenage at St Andrews 2-1. So they move on to 82 points. And Wrexham, as it stands, missing out on opportunity to go second. Listen to the roar inside Anfield. 5 minutes of normal time remaining. A couple of the Liverpool players acting as cheerleaders. Meanwhile, the Paris Saint-Germain support bob in alternate rows. Liverpool have got a corner kick. Paris Saint-Germain still hold the advantage on the night. 5 minutes then remaining. Tense moments inside Anfield. McAllister takes a deep breath. Hits the corner kick very far. Donnarumma gets something on it. Diaz hits it and connects. Slices it right-footed, off-target goal kick.
Yeah, difficult skill as Donnarumma punches it. He punches it high into the sky, and then the skill is to try and keep your eye on it, get your knee over the ball, get your body forward. He just cuts across the ball, gets it horribly wrong, slices it 7 or 8 yards wide.
Ball is taken short with the goal kick. Liverpool are pressing. Marquinhos will get it up towards Doué, but Van Dijk wins the header. Drops towards Luis Diaz, left-hand side of the penalty area. Luis Diaz tries to wriggle his way in, sends over the cross, caught by Donnarumma. Full time at Burnley, Betty Glover.
Burnley 1, West Brom 1. Neither side could find the winner. West Brom got the opener in the first. Excellent John Swift free kick. Burnley equalised 4 minutes later through Fleming. Relentless pressure from Burnley at the end. They stay third. Burnley 1, West Brom 1.
Sheffield United going top, and the gap between Sheffield United and Burnley would be 4 points, with Sheffield United's 1-0 lead over Bristol City. Colchester United 2, Port Vale 1 is a full-time score in League 2. And here, Paris Saint-Germain playing the ball across the back. Fabian just chips it out towards that far side. But Liverpool are the one hunting for the ball now, and they go all the way back towards Donnarumma. Fabian dropping a little bit deeper, little bit of a stumble. Robertson couldn't quite get there before Doué was able to spin away and now run forward for Paris Saint-Germain. He's got options ahead of him. One of them was João Neves. Quansah goes to ground, wins the challenge. Ball played early towards Dembele. Van Dijk comes across. It rebounds towards Kvaratskhelia, who puts it wide. What a chance that was for Paris Saint-Germain to win it with 3 minutes remaining. Goal kick. They still lead by a goal to 0 on the night, 1-1 in aggregate.
Yeah, it would have had to be in some finish from Kvaratskhelia, who's been quiet in this second half, been on the periphery of the game. He opens his body out, he tries to bend it in the far top right-hand corner. It just bobbles as he hits it because his touch hasn't stunned the ball enough. Alisson at full stretch, he wouldn't have got anywhere near it, but that's the first time we've really seen the quality of Paris Saint-Germain on the break.
Alisson goes long with a goal kick. Marquinhos skies it up in the air. It will drop. And then João Neves in a bit of a tussle there with Szoboszlai. Nunez will be a willing runner. Chase after that towards Donnarumma, who clears it away downfield. Met by the head of Konate. Luis Diaz takes it high off the chest, then tries to flick it away from João Neves, but Vitinha was there tidying up for Paris Saint-Germain. Full time at Sunderland, Adam Cottier.
Automatic promotion might be out of reach for Sunderland. They draw 1-1 with Preston. Romain Mundle with a curling shot into the top corner to level after Emile Rees had fired Preston ahead. Sunderland 1, Preston 1.
2 minutes remain of normal time. A line of stewards now make their way in front of the Kop with their luminous jackets as Paris Saint-Germain, buoyed by their boisterous support, are in possession. Hakimi is forward, probably one of the most advanced players for Paris Saint-Germain. And now Marquinhos with every outfield player in the Liverpool half. We are heading towards extra time. We will keep an eye on the fourth official to see how much added on time there will be here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But at a walking pace, Paris Saint-Germain are comfortable in possession at this stage.
Yeah, well, Liverpool can't press them. Darwin Nunez is in the left-back position, just protecting Andrew Robertson, helping him out. Now they're starting to release themselves ever so slightly, the Liverpool players.
Wimbledon 1, Cheltenham 2, Accrington Stanley 5, Newport County 0, Grimsby 0, Notts County 2, Salford 0, Chesterfield 4, Colchester United 2, Port Vale 1, with the results in League 2. Allez, allez, allez is the chant from the Liverpool supporters here to try and give them late encouragement to summon up a dramatic goal. But Doué, though, will come forward. Doué holds off Szoboszlai, bursts into the penalty area, and then he's squeezed out by a combination of Robertson and Van Dijk. Late goal at Bramall Lane, Katie Smith.
And it's an equaliser on the stroke of the 90th minute. Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 1. It had been coming. Mark Sykes lashing it in on the edge of the 6-yard box. 6 added minutes, 1-1.
Well, that'll please the Burnley supporters with that 1-1 draw at Turf Moor, because the difference between Burnley and Sheffield United now is only 2 points. We're in stoppage time. Paris Saint-Germain are going to make a change. They're going to bring on Lucas Beraldo, who's a Brazilian international defender. 5 minutes of added on time, which we're now into. 5 minutes. We thought it would be about that, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. There's been a lot of incidents in this second half. The injury to Trent Alexander-Arnold, Donnarumma went down as well. So it's about right.
Van Dijk to Robertson. His forward ball, Diaz coming in off the left touchline, out towards Salah, curling ball, cushion touch by Salah, right corner of the area, Quansah on the overlap, back then towards Gravenberch. Gravenberch waits, 25 yards out, was slightly behind to find McAllister, but Liverpool still have the ball. Konate outside the centre circle, goes back right for Gravenberch. Paris Saint-Germain have got everybody back behind the ball. Gravenberch waves his arms in frustration about a lack of options as the ball is presented to Salah from a header. Salah cuts inside. Salah to Szoboszlai. Robertson hits it low, doesn't have the power. Gathered in by Donnarumma. The results in League 1, Exeter 2, Mansfield 0, Birmingham 2, Stevenage 1, Bristol Rovers 3, Bolton 2, Crawley 0, Charlton 1, and Blackpool 2, Cambridge 1, Reading 2, Wrexham 0 is the latest score. Dembele is forward, Dembele is fouled. Dembele gets Paris Saint-Germain a free kick, and that is a yellow card shown to McAllister. And McAllister would miss the first leg of any quarter-final should Liverpool progress through suspension.
Yeah, I think he felt he just had to help out Konate, who twisted himself and knocked a little bit, and then Dembele perhaps would have got a shot away at goal. Smart challenge from Alexis McAllister.
Marquinhos wasn't risked against Rennes at the weekend. The 30-year-old, the club record appearance holder, with tonight his 475th appearance, makes way for the 21-year-old Lucas Beraldo, the Brazilian, a teammate of Alisson, who at the moment is lining up his wall. He's got 4 in the wall. It is left of centre. It's 25 yards out from goal, and we're into injury time. João Neves is helping Kvaratskhelia line this one up. Kvaratskhelia, the Georgian. We know all about his quality. Alisson spurned him several times last week. Kvaratskhelia hits the top of the wall, up in the air it goes. Downward header, and that loose ball picked up by Alisson. You can feel that relief inside Anfield from the Liverpool supporters. 2.5 minutes away from an additional 30. Here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Gravenberch's tired diagonal ball easily cut out by Mendes. Picked up by Doué inside the centre circle. Doué then leaves it out towards Kvaratskhelia, coming from deep. Looks for the run of João Neves. That was well cut out by Van Dijk. It was a well-timed run by Neves. Spinning away from the challenge of Kvaratskhelia is Salah. Into the centre circle. Szoboszlai. Little bit slow, had to get it out from under his feet, but then passes the ball out towards Salah, but allowed Kvaratskhelia sliding to force it out of play for a Liverpool throw. Bayern Munich, incidentally, have won. Bayer Leverkusen 0, Bayern Munich 2. So Bayern Munich go through 5-0 on aggregate, and they will be playing Inter, who are comfortably ahead against Feyenoord in the other tie. Here is Diaz, runs into Hakimi. 90 seconds, they're leaving it late.
He gets through some work rate, the Paris Saint-Germain players. Kvaratskhelia, he's helping his teammate out in the left-back position, making sure that he doesn't allow Salah to get a 1v1 situation, because it was really dangerous for Liverpool going down that right-hand side.
Headed forward by Van Dijk. That's the voice of Stephen Warnock on BBC Radio 5 Live this evening. Here is Robertson, ball inside. Nunez does well to keep it alive. Back towards Szoboszlai. Quansah lets it run through towards Salah. We've got about 70 seconds remaining here at Anfield before extra time. McAllister to Robertson. Van Dijk back towards Robertson. Robertson with a cross. It's a teasing ball in. Vitinha was the one who actually dropped back inside his area. Robertson crosses again. Salah waits, and Mendes this time is alive to head it behind for a corner kick. Liverpool with 50 seconds remaining have a corner on the right.
Yeah, he has to gamble there, Darwin Núñez, as the ball's played into Andrew Robertson. It's a delicious ball. It's one of them balls that you're just praying that someone anticipates where it's going to go. Darwin Núñez is stood there appreciating the ball but not getting on the end of it. Liverpool with a corner.
Over on that far side, the right, McAllister will take his time. By my watch, this will be the last bit of action of the minimum 5 minutes to be added on by our Romanian referee. Can Liverpool summon up a last gasp winner? McAllister waits. McAllister now delivers the header up in the air by Beraldo. Donnarumma under pressure, gets something on it, and the referee then blows his whistle. Says that Donnarumma, who makes the most of it, stays down lying on his back, gets the free kick for Paris Saint-Germain. And there indeed is the end of the 90 minutes. And Paris Saint-Germain have beaten Liverpool by 1-0 on the night. But we have extra time here at Anfield. That Dembele goal after 12 minutes. Stephen.
Yeah, they've held firm. Paris Saint-Germain, they were put under so much pressure by Liverpool in this second half. Hardly tested Alisson. Paris Saint-Germain, just one opportunity of note, which was Kvaratskhelia coming inside on that right-hand side. But Liverpool hit the post a couple of times. Donnarumma in decent form. This has been an outstanding game.
And we've got another 30 minutes to either enjoy or endure, depending on your position of support. But after the 90 minutes, Liverpool 0, Paris 1, 1-1 on aggregate.
Andros Townsend and Statman Dave with us as well. They didn't really threaten Liverpool in the second half, did they, Paris Saint-Germain, Andros?
No, Liverpool really did up it in that second half. I think Anfield upped it, Liverpool responded, the players responded to that, and it was more like a Liverpool performance which we've expected this season. PSG just had no response, but for me it's still evenly poised, because with a counter-attacking threat of Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, now Doué on the right-hand side, they've still got that counter-attacking chance that if Liverpool do switch off, they will punish them. So it's very evenly poised for this extra time period.
I suppose the question is, and Stephen mentioned it in commentary, Andros, which is how Paris Saint-Germain's legs can keep going, particularly in that midfield, through extra time.
Yes, and I think you started to see they started to tie, they started to sit in a block, which we haven't really seen for both ties. They were pressing high from minute 1 to minute 90 in the first leg, but yeah, they started to sit back, they started to get in their block. Probably tiredness and the fact that they sensed that Liverpool were on top and they just wanted to keep things tight. But yeah, I'm sure it will go the same way in extra time, and they'll just stick to that, having that sort of threat on the counter-attack as opposed to controlling the game like they did in the first leg.
Dave?
Just in terms of the big chances that PSG had in the first half, 4 of them. In the second half, they only had 3 shots on goal. Their expected goals in the first half, 1.97. Second half, 0.13. Liverpool massively ahead there. But I think in terms of standout players, William Pachau at centre-half for PSG has been absolutely outstanding.
Earlier in the Champions League, Barcelona beat Benfica 3-1 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. They'll play Borussia Dortmund or Lille in the quarter-finals. Inter are beaten Feyenoord 2-1 on the night. They go through on aggregate 4-1. And Bayern have comfortably beaten Bayer Leverkusen. Chris Coles.
Comfortable, the word, Mark. 5-0 aggregate winners, already with that healthy 3-0 advantage from the first leg, added to in the second half with goals from Kane and Davis. Leverkusen managed just 2 shots on target, never threatened the miraculous comeback, and their Champions League campaign ends in the last 16. Bayern 5-0 aggregate winners. They'll face Inter Milan in the quarter-finals.
In the Championship this evening, Burnley 1, West Brom 1, Cardiff 1, Luton 2, Derby 2, Coventry 0, Middlesbrough 2, QPR 1, Norwich 2, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Norwich have been 2-0 up. Sunderland 1, Preston 1, and at Bramall Lane, Katie Smith.
Well, it ends Sheffield United 1, Bristol City 1, so Leeds might feel like the real winners tonight. United went ahead through Tyrese Campbell, side footing into the bottom corner. Bristol City really good value throughout this one, though. Finally got their reward, 90th minute equaliser for Sykes. Then it got really bad-tempered. We had a proper pile-in, Sheffield United screaming for a penalty. Harrison Burrows brought down, then they really they were just going at it, cards galore. But Sheffield United, they finished the evening top by just that single point, though. Leeds play tomorrow, 1-1.
In League 1, Birmingham 2, Stevenage 1, Blackpool 2, Cambridge 1, Bristol Rovers 3, Bolton 2, Crawley 0, Charlton 1, Exeter 2, Mansfield 0. They're still playing at Reading, but they lead Wrexham 2-0. Accrington 5, Newport 0 as we go into League 2. AFC Wimbledon 1, Cheltenham 2, Colchester 2, Port Vale 1, Grimsby 0, Notts County 2, Salford 0, Chesterfield 4. In the National League this evening, wins for Forest Green Rovers, Oldham, Rochdale and Boston. Partick Thistle beat Queen's Park in the Scottish Championship. Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 4 in Scottish League 1, and Spartans won 2-0 at Elgin in League 2. Andros, thank you very much for your company this evening. We're ready to go with extra time at Anfield. Back to Stephen and Ian.
Thank you, Mark. And I noticed that Reading 2, Wrexham 0 is now a full-time scoreline. So Reading unbeaten now in 9. They're 2 points off the playoffs as Wrexham miss out on going second. A couple of substitutions to tell you about. Warren Zaire-Emery, who captained against Rennes at the weekend on his 19th birthday. He has replaced Fabien in the midfield, so the French international is on. And Curtis Jones has come on for McAllister as well. So as we're about to start the extra time, Alisson, Quansah, Van Dijk, Konate and Robertson, Szoboszlai, Gravenberch and Jones, Salah, Nunez and Luis Diaz. And for Paris Saint-Germain, Donnarumma, Hakimi, Beraldo, Pacho and Mendes, Zaire-Emery, Vitinha, João Neves, Kvaratskhelia, Doué and Dembele. Liverpool all in red in this first period of extra time, playing from right to left as we look. Paris Saint-Germain in their all dark blue are playing from left to right, attacking the Kop. As Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1, and 30 more minutes. Otherwise, it'll be a penalty shootout.
Yeah, there's only one team this suits. Newcastle. I think of the weekend's game, Liverpool going to extra time now. It's absolutely perfect for Newcastle. They'll be hoping for tired legs, tired minds.
That League Cup final, 4:30 at Wembley. The programme actually comes from Wembley on Sunday afternoon. You'll hear it here on BBC Radio 5 Live. But the first of 3 successive nights of European action on 5 Live has been extended. As João Neves outside the centre circle leaves it, and then the ball is played out by Vitinha towards that far side. Kvaratskhelia goes down the line. Mendes looks to fire in the early cross. Blocks, loops behind. Corner kick for Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, the first sign of attack from Paris Saint-Germain, and it's Mendes who stayed in that left-back position predominantly in this second half. Didn't really move from it. Advances down there.
They've taken the corner short on the left-hand side. This is Doué who looks to deliver the ball. Doué's delivery, and the header is just wide. It was Beraldo, 6 yards out, back across from where it came from. Alisson was at full stretch towards his right. That must have dropped, I don't know, about a few inches away from that left-hand post as we look.
Yeah, he won the ball well, Beraldo, above Curtis Jones, also above Gravenberch as well. He wanted the ball more. Alisson was sprawled into his right-hand side. He thought it was going in, and he's very thankful that it didn't. That was a really good opportunity.
Alisson has the ball at his feet inside his penalty area as Dembele backpedals. Van Dijk is quick just to try and usher Robertson further up the field.
I don't overthink it. Just play to Luis Diaz. Hakimi hasn't held to being able to deal with that situation all night, and now Beraldo on that right side of the back four, or right side of centre-back. He's not the tallest.
Szoboszlai threads the ball through. Jones runs forward. Jones leaves it now for Salah. Salah's early cross into the penalty area, headed away by Pacho. And that ball picked up by Zaire Emery, hit then early from this near side the right by Hakimi, now sporting the captain's armband in the absence of Marquinhos. Kvaratskhelia runs forward, cuts inside. Kvaratskelia's shot is blocked, it might fall to Hakimi, stabs it into the path of Doué. Doué looks to turn, and Doué gets the shot away, and that was very, very close, left-footed. I was actually expecting the net to bulge.
Yeah, I was as well. I thought it was brilliant from Doué, because Virgil van Dijk knows he can't engage too close to him, and he tries to just block the shot, and it whistles past the post. It must take a coat of paint off the post. So that's how close it was, and that's twice now that Paris Saint-Germain have scared Liverpool early on in this first half of extra time.
Ball up towards that far side, and then hooked on by Salah. And this now is Nunez. Nunez waits. Just realised as well that in the second half they attacked the Anfield Road end. The second period of extra time they're going to be attacking the Kop end.
It could be big if Liverpool can hold themselves till the first half of extra time.
Here is Szoboszlai to Nunez, right corner of the area. Salah right corner now with the cross, straight down the throat of Donnarumma.
Oh, it's poor as well, because there's three players at the back post for Liverpool. They've outnumbered Paris Saint-Germain. They don't need to be as accurate, just float it up to that back post area. Poor from Mohamed Salah.
When you've played here in your Liverpool career, psychologically, does it give the players a lift to be attacking the Kop second half?
It does. You just get that sense of, I don't know, you look down and you look at it, and it's just, it just pulls you in. You hear so many times players saying the ball just gets sucked into the goal, and it does have that effect.
Well, it's certainly, this game has pulled us in tonight. It's been captivating as Robertson cuts out the ball, and then he has to react again as it comes back towards him, and his header towards Alisson heads it back to the Liverpool goalkeeper, who made those 9 saves. That was the most since Donnarumma in 2012 made against Celtic, and Hugo Lloris made 12 against Borussia Dortmund in the 18-19 campaign. It was described by the Brazilian as the performance of his life, as Van Dijk has the ball at the heart of the Liverpool defence, and then right-footed hits it out towards that far side. Salah comes short to collect it near the halfway line. Ball in field to Szoboszlai. The return ball to Salah. Salah now enters the box. His cross closed down. Liverpool get a corner kick, right-hand side. Still trailing on the night by a 1-0.
Yeah, beautiful movement from Dominic Szoboszlai. Goes to feint to go long, comes short, allows Salah to then find his feet, and then the return ball into Mohamed Salah. I thought he'd waited too long, but it was inch perfect into his path. Salah is just like that little bit of quality tonight. He hasn't had the opportunity. Well, he had 2 opportunities in the first half that he perhaps should have scored from. His crossing, the final ball hasn't quite been there so far.
Now McAllister is off the field, he's been substituted, so Robertson has taken over the corner kick duties on that far side, the right. The Scottish international now takes it, in it comes. Donnarumma has come a long way, gets something on it, he was at full stretch, retrieved by Szoboszlai, left corner of the area, back it goes. Salah with a little flick, off target, as the Paris Saint-Germain supporters, even more of them are bare-chested now. It's getting colder, it's getting later, and yet more are taking their clothes off.
Don't you do it.
Don't you worry. Take me a while, I've got my layers on. 7 minutes into this first period of extra time. Donnarumma. Just since this extra period started, it's gone a little bit more tactical.
Yeah, quite possibly, but credit to both teams. I mean, Paris Saint-Germain started the first half of extra time extremely well. Liverpool have responded. I'm just going to touch on Donnarumma's performance. All the free kicks and corners that have been put into the penalty area with, he's not even tried to catch anything. There's been nothing, no mistakes made by him. Punches everything, makes sure that he clears the ball. Sensible goalkeeping.
The reason I say that, when Liverpool had a goal kick before, Paris Saint-Germain were poised for the press and Liverpool waited, whereas earlier they'd have got the game back underway.
Yeah, I think there's a reluctance as well from Alisson to almost play the ball into Gerald Kwanzaa, knowing that he perhaps doesn't have that same quality as Trent Alexander-Arnold does. Doesn't want to put him in a position where he's getting closed down by Kvaratskhelia. So there is a different approach to it from Liverpool.
They lost the semi-finals last year to Borussia Dortmund. They were runners-up in 2020, looking to try and navigate this way past Liverpool, who, remember, won the new league phase. Many made Liverpool favourites for the competition. But Paris Saint-Germain, who've won 11 of their last 12 games, leading here again by a 1-0 as Doué cuts in off that left side. The ball then is passed by Dembele, blocked by Kwanzaa. Salah has to hit it early. Pacho again was there, but his ball is picked upon by Jones, who seizes on it and runs forward. Comes to a standstill. Infield to Szoboszlai, quickly gives it back. The crowd with a cry of man on. And then out to Luis Diaz as Jones links up once again. 8.5 minutes of this first period of extra time. It's 10:05 here on BBC Radio 5 Live. As here is Jones, 30 yards out from goal. The crowd playing their part again. Jones loses the ball, tries to win it back. He's left Liverpool a little bit exposed as he loses it. And Dembele to Hakimi. Hakimi looks tired, but he still manages to get onto it. Van Dijk comes across towards him on this near side, the right. 6 minutes to go to half-time in extra time. Kvaratskhelia at a walking pace. Beraldo strokes it inside. This is Vitinha. Two quality sides slugging it out here at Anfield. Mendes. Now with Vitinha. Liverpool now drop off. Salah decides to go and press as Vitinha, not fazed at all by a first touch that almost showed a glimpse of the ball to Nunez. Liverpool are making changes. There is activity on the Liverpool bench down below.
It looks like Cody Gakpo is getting ready to come on. I thought Endo might as well, but he was just getting a drink.
Gakpo, who's missed the last two with an ankle problem. He was named among the substitutes here at the weekend, but then was actually replaced with a late alteration by Kwanzaa. So Cody Gakpo will come on. You would think it would be for Diaz.
Yeah, quite possibly. You'd feel that way, but Diaz has been a danger every time that he's...
Kwanzaa had to react because the ball didn't kick on and reach Alisson, and it was a good job that he did with his sense of anticipation. Salah looking for the run of Szoboszlai into the penalty area. Szoboszlai right side of the box, and Doué coming back. Szoboszlai slides in that the crowd enjoy.
Where does his energy come from? Absolutely phenomenal, the work he gets through.
Well, here comes the change, and it will be Luis Diaz who will go off the field of play to be replaced by Cody Gakpo, who has contributed 16 goals this season. How they could do with one from Cody Gakpo. And we're also going to see another change. Kvaratskhelia is the player who's going off, and it's Kang-in Lee, the South Korean forward, who's coming on to replace Kvaratskhelia.
Liverpool fans will be happy to see him leave the pitch, Kvaratskhelia. Been really quiet in the second half of normal time. Didn't really have the effect that he did in the first half, but still a danger. You know that he possesses quality.
Kang-in Lee, who they played in many positions this season, including the false nine, very, very versatile. 24 years of age, signed from Mallorca in 2023, but always good to see the back of Kvaratskhelia from a Liverpool point of view. Coming towards the latter stages of this first period of extra time on BBC Radio 5 Live. And just that Doué effort, really the closest that we've had to a goal in extra time, and that was for Paris Saint-Germain. As Szoboszlai out towards Salah, midway through the Paris Saint-Germain half, goes back into a central position for Szoboszlai. Van Dijk comes forward from the centre circle. Robertson is to his left, forward ball to Jones with his back to goal, left corner of the area. That was a nibble from behind by Beraldo. Jones tries to win it back. Beraldo will turn, and a combination of Jones and Robertson. The Brazilian defender has conceded a throw that Liverpool want to take quickly. Stephen.
Yeah, Liverpool fans not happy with Curtis Jones. It's 3 times now that he's been caught on the ball since he's come onto the pitch. You've got to get up with the speed of play. This guy on the ball, Jarell Quansah, he's been up to the speed of play. Some of the runs he's made beyond Salah to free Salah up to get on the ball have been quite brilliant from him.
But also as well, I could tell by your reaction as the baller goes across the back, Hakimi almost showed Gakpo a little touch, but Beraldo was there first. Hakimi can run forward. His alertness earlier on to cut out that effort there, Paris Saint-Germain might well have capitalised on.
Yeah, but you've just got to deal with the situation. Don't think that your goalkeeper's going to deal with it. Don't allow him to come out. Just deal with it and then ask the questions later on.
Ball goes away from Cody Gakpo over the top as he ran forward on this near left-hand side. We'll bring you all the reaction from this tight, tense evening in the 5 Live Football Daily podcast. Aston Villa Bruges tomorrow night will be our destination. Villa Park with all the build-up from 7. Don't forget the highlights on BBC One at 10:40 tomorrow night. Might well be showing the highlights of a penalty shootout. I just can't help think that we're heading that way.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Mendes, however, with a swashbuckling run from left-back, has other ideas. He's then lost the ball. He thought he was fouled. The Romanian referee Kovac said no. Van Dijk to Robertson, joins the attack. Robertson plays it down the left-hand side. Cody Gakpo.
It's a corner, has to be.
Corner. Came off Hakimi. Corner kick for Liverpool.
What was Lee thinking there? I mean, it was so obvious that it came off Hakimi, and Lee let it run out for a corner. He was thinking that it was going to be a goal kick, so opportunity for Liverpool here. Mendes is rolling around. He nutmegged Curtis Jones, put the ball through his legs, then slipped and then wanted a foul, but Curtis Jones just jumped out the way, allowed him to go down, and now he has an issue.
So Mendes is getting some treatment. We're about 30 seconds away from the first 15 minutes of extra time to be up with our Romanian referee, and Harvey Elliott is going to be introduced into the action, getting words of encouragement from the bench down below. Harvey Elliott, if he can have the same level of impact as he had in Paris last week, what was it, 42 goals, 42 seconds he'd been on the field of play before his goal.
Exactly that, but it'll just be the same message, won't it? Do what you did last week, score.
Well, we've got a little longer, but only a smidgen more than 42 seconds to play here, because an additional 1 minute has been added on.
Yeah, Mendes is now having to leave the pitch and you're defending a man light, so can Liverpool make the most of that opportunity now?
Liverpool in injury time in the first period of extra time have a corner kick delivered from the left, delivered towards the far post, swatted away by Donnarumma under real pressure. In fact, he's actually ended up in the back of the net with Van Dijk. The two of them see the funny side of it. The referee again gives a free kick in favour of the giant Italian keeper.
Yeah, I think if anyone else had gone in for that challenge with Donnarumma, listen, there's not even any contact on Donnarumma. He punches the ball, then falls back into his own goal. I think if he'd have seen anyone else but Van Dijk, I don't think he'd have been laughing as much.
His presence looms large. We all know what he's like when it comes to penalty shootouts. If you think back to the Euros when Italy beat England at Wembley. But there is the end of extra time. Liverpool 0, Paris Saint-Germain 1. Stephen.
Yeah, an entertaining first half of extra time. Paris Saint-Germain started so well, had a couple of opportunities, and then in the game later on in that half, Liverpool had a couple of opportunities. I'm just watching Luis Enrique. He's just walked onto the pitch straight away on it. João Neves trying to get a message across to him, to the youngster, but a great first half of extra time.
So 15 more minutes to go, and it's penalties. Mark.
And Steve, João Neves has the look on his face of, seriously, mate, you the work I've put in last week and this week, and you're walking on the pitch to give me some instructions.
Incredible, isn't it? But they're the levels of detail that is expected from the manager, from the players. I mean, now he's on at his fourth officials, Luis Enrique. Sorry, not his fourth officials, his own staff, asking questions of them. I think it's the medical staff making sure that he's on at the players to make sure that they're fit enough for this second half. He's relentless, Jose Enrique.
I mean, there are a lot of players now who are slugging this out, aren't there? Understandably so, really.
Yeah, I mean, I said Jose Enrique, it's Luis Enrique. Jose Enrique was the old left back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's so difficult. Tired minds, tired bodies. We're going to see Harvey Elliott come onto the pitch now. So Liverpool have tried to introduce some bodies on there. Curtis Jones just couldn't quite get up to speed of the game, but you just get that feeling this could be decided in this half if either team scores with just that lapse of concentration or that tired body.
Liverpool kicking towards the Kop, and Harvey Elliott is on for a man who I think has covered every blade of grass in that 105 minutes that he's been on Dominic Szoboszlai. Ian.
Thank you, Mark. Now, I think that is the final opportunity by my calculations, that you get an extra opportunity for Liverpool in extra time for both sides actually to make a change, but Liverpool now have used 4 different opportunities to use that substitution. So Elliott is on. Paris Saint-Germain would have 1 more to bring on potentially 2 more players if my maths are correct. So the second half of extra time is underway on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Also Radio Merseyside taking our commentary this evening as Alisson, Quansah, Van Dijk, Konate and Robertson, Elliott, Gravenberch, Jones, Salah, Nunez and Gakpo is now how Liverpool line up, with Paris Saint-Germain defending the Kop in this second period of extra time, with Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi, Beraldo, Pacho and Mendes, Zaire Emery, Vitinha, Neves, Lee, Dembele and Doué. Paris Saint-Germain, seems a long time ago now since that Dembele goal gave them the lead on the night, and that has been no change to the scoreline. 1-1 on aggregate, already through to the quarter-finals of Bayern Munich and Inter, as well as Barcelona earlier on. But these two sides might need to have a penalty shootout to determine who will go through to the quarter-finals. And by the way, Paris Saint-Germain's record is mixed. They've won 7 of their 15 shootouts, although they did beat Lens in the French Cup earlier this season in a penalty shootout. Goes back to Donnarumma. Right-footed, gets it out towards Hakimi. João Neves running in field, back to Mendes. Doué comes short on this near side, the left. Elliott is with him. And then Neves touches the ball to Pacho at the back. Excellent game he's had, the 23-year-old Ecuadorian international. The ball goes through the middle. Hakimi it is who's the furthest player forward in that central area. The captain out now to Doué. Doué comes forward inside. Zaire Emery touched it to Hakimi, who shoots, blocks. But who's going to hit it first time? Vitinha now will shoot. It's a low one. Oh, that reared up quite awkwardly for Alisson, who made the save.
Yeah, he made it look easy, but it wasn't an easy save from Alisson. Kept his eye on it all the way, and it's much like Donnarumma's in the first half, where it just skipped up in front of him. Good block initially from Curtis Jones, as you say, Hakimi playing almost as a centre forward then.
Konate runs towards the halfway line. A ball along the ground finds Salah, turns. Quansah joins the attack on the right-hand side. First time cross into the penalty area. Hakimi clears it away 12 yards out from his own goal. Dembele heads it into the path now of Zaire Emery, who runs forward. And Dembele wanted the ball returned to him, but he couldn't see him. Instead, he finds Lee, the South Korean, runs forward. Hakimi wasn't expecting that. It's a low ball in, and nobody was looking to or willing to make that run as it went through the 6-yard area, and Liverpool with Quansah can clear.
Yeah, Dembele stopped, didn't he? Just completely gave up on the move and didn't think it'd make that far post.
This is Vitinha. Vitinha finds Dembele. Dembele tries to place it. Alisson, brilliant save. He tried to place it right-footed, but Alisson was low down to his left with a one-handed save, and that strong left arm behind it goes for a corner kick.
Yeah, I think he was trying to take Alisson by surprise, and Dembele did, because he tries to hit it, not with his left foot, and he's on the left side of the penalty area, but he opens his right foot up and tries to pass it into the far corner. It's a really great save from Alisson, stretching down to his bottom left, and Konate has now gone down. I think it's just a little bit of cramp that he's picked up.
They've had the better chances in extra time, haven't they,
Oh,
Paris
they have,
Saint-Germain?
they really have.
3.5 minutes into this second period of extra time. Corner is worked short over on that far side. Just trying to deliver the ball on the right is Doué. Lee remains. Can he squeeze past him? Had his legs taken away from him, I thought there. The referee said not from Gakpo. Salah will pursue that loose ball. Hakimi runs back, and from one right back to another full back in Mendes on this near side, the left. João Neves to Dembele, coming in now off the left touchline. Paris Saint-Germain are threatening. Paris Saint-Germain, strong challenge coming in from Gravenberch, and then last touch was off João Neves. It'll be a goal kick. You can really feel the tension.
Oh, you really can, because Paris Saint-Germain have been superb in this second half of extra time. They started well in the first half of extra time and died. Well, they haven't died so far in this second half. They've dominated, and Liverpool have an issue now as Konate again goes to ground. That's a really good challenge. Knocked the ball against the Paris Saint-Germain player and went out for a goal kick.
Just looking at let's see if I got my maths right, because Endo looks like he's going to coming on. I thought that they'd used the old 1, 2, 3. I thought they'd used their different substitutions. One, maybe not.
Maybe not then. Mendel will come on in that centre-back position. You obviously know it can be done, so good job you're not my accountant.
It is a good job I'm not your accountant. Although I'll tell you what, I wish I was. But maths has never been my strong point. I'll admit that. But Endo is coming on. It's a good job as well, because Konate really is struggling. So Wataru Endo will come on to replace him.
Yeah, I wonder what they might do in this position, whether they'll play Endo in that centre-back position or whether they play Gravenberch. We've seen Gravenberch play there many times before. Just keep our eye on how they go into those positions.
And if I wasn't your accountant, I wish I was Mark Chapman's.
Oh, absolutely.
9 minutes remaining. Still 1-0 to Paris Saint-Germain.
It is Endo in centre-back and Gravenberch still in midfield.
Here is Vitinha, right of the centre circle. Paris Saint-Germain supporters who have been superb throughout the whole evening. Salah was caught late by Mendes. Got to be a free kick. It is. The Liverpool take it quickly with Elliott. Not been able to replicate the level of intensity where they finished the normal 90, have they, Liverpool?
No, I think Paris Saint-Germain probably sat in a little bit and said to Liverpool, OK, come and break us down in that first half of extra time. Probably conserved a little bit more energy than Liverpool did, and now Liverpool are finding it difficult to replicate that energy, that press, and the quick movements of passing.
Mentioned earlier, Paris Saint-Germain's penalty record is mixed. Liverpool's is quite strong in Europe. They've won 4 out of 5 shootouts in European competition, 20 in 27 from 27 in all competitions. The Liverpool supporters know that they've got their role to play, because Paris Saint-Germain are dominating with the ball at this stage with 8 minutes remaining of extra time. Here is Vitinha, finds an area of space, darts into it, carries it to the edge of the box. Van Dijk ushers Dembele out. Doué keeps it alive for Paris Saint-Germain. Ball in field, Zaire Emery skips out of one challenge from Nunez. Paris Saint-Germain now are threatening. This is Doué, always looking lively. Comes on the inside, gets the shot away too! And right-footed just wide. Alisson will say it had it covered. He was diving to his left. He didn't make any movement with his arms. He was happy to see that flash wide.
Yeah, he's very happy, Alisson. He pulled his left arm away, but lively from Doué. Liverpool players need to get closer to him. They can't. It's probably a couple of yards wide in the end, but Alisson very comfortable in that situation.
Alisson waits to take the goal kick. Can't help but keep looking at the clock to see how long is left. Alisson is in no real hurry to take it. You're going to come to two goalkeepers, one who was in breathtaking form last week, and Donnarumma, who's made some significant saves so far here this evening.
Yeah, brilliant performance from Donnarumma. I think there's question marks about him at times, about the concentration. A lot of people think he's got an error in him, but tonight he's been really good, really positive performance from his point of view.
Quansah heads it forward, flicked on by Gravenberch. Jones's header will drop to Elliott inside the centre circle, volleys the ball up towards Salah. Salah now, right corner of the area, goes down with Mendes. He's holding his head, he's holding his face, he's rolling around. Mendes waves his arms in protest. The referee has a look at it, and then let's play continue. And Zaire Emery now will try and get Lee in on that far right-hand side for Paris Saint-Germain. Lee's shot, Alisson with the save inside the 6-yard area. 6 minutes remaining of extra time here on 5 Live.
Yeah, I have to say, I didn't really think there was too much in the Mohamed Salah incident as he comes inside and Mendes is alive to that situation. There's just a hand from Mendes and it's just a normal motion of the way that you turn. Catches Mohamed Salah across the face, he makes a meal of it. Mohamed Salah goes to ground. It was never going to be given.
Elliott, Liverpool looking for an equaliser on the night. Salah short diagonal ball. Nunez back towards Salah, right hand side of the box. Salah crosses it behind Nunez, behind Gakpo, and Paris Saint-Germain will play their way out of their penalty area. And Hakimi coming forward now, short of the halfway line, out towards Lee on that far side. His diagonal ball, it opens up. Zaire Emery. Hakimi's continued that run, level with the box. His low cross. Here is Dembele, side onto goal, flicks it into the path of Zaire Emery. Neves joins the attack. Paris Saint-Germain with their blue shirts are attacking in front of their bouncing supporters, as here is Doué running in field. He chips it forward. Hakimi's offside, clear offside. Hakimi pulls it back. Doué shot down into the ground. Now the flag is raised. I mean, you're not going to get a clear offside than that all night.
Absolutely embarrassing. You've got players who are they're tired, and you're carrying on, and you're asking them to stretch, and absolutely stupid officiating.
4.5 minutes remain of extra time in this second period. Incidentally, after the game is finally over, we will remain on air for a further 15 minutes here on 5 Live to digest what has certainly been an enticing cup tie here at Anfield.
I won't have a voice left.
Can you charge extra?
You will.
Speaking as your accountant, Nunez gives chase. Held off by Pacho. He has been superb, hasn't he, the 23-year-old?
He's a great player. He was superb last week in Paris as well.
Picked him up from Royal Antwerp. He was at Royal Antwerp, then they picked him up from Eintracht Frankfurt. Only had the one season in Germany. But William Pacho has had a super game at the back for Paris Saint-Germain. Time is running out in extra time. This is Lee. Effort was blocked. Hakimi, right corner of the area. This is Vitinha. Has to go the long way around. Liverpool have every red shirt back in and around their own penalty area. Out towards Doué on this left-hand side. Vitinha thought he was going to shoot there from distance. Van Dijk steps out of defence and gets it towards Nunez. By my watch, we have about 2.5 minutes of extra time remaining. Here is Hakimi coming forward. Hakimi's shot blocked by Robertson. Up into the air it goes. Paris Saint-Germain are finishing strongly. This is Lee with the effort. Alisson makes the save and he has to gather it in because Dembele was gathering on any loose ball. He'd have snaffled that up.
Yeah, he's had a few opportunities now, Lee, as he cuts in on that from that right-hand side onto his left foot, tries to bend it, it bounces just in front of Alisson, and Dembele was closing in on Alisson if there was anything spilled.
Last Wednesday was the first time in 5 that the home team didn't win between these two. Paris Saint-Germain leading by a goal to nil with 2 minutes remaining of extra time. That time of the evening where fingernails are being chewed to the bone as Endo gets good distance on his header. Gakpo not really got himself into the game, and Paris Saint-Germain find Hakimi. Hakimi still as strong as ever running forward. Leaves it now to Lee, coming in off that right touchline with less than 2 minutes remaining. Vitinha joins the attack. Salah's quick to close him down. Vitinha waits. Dembele just comes deeper away from the penalty area. At the moment there's nobody occupying the two central defenders. Dembele now finds that space. Out towards Doué on the left. Doué level with the penalty area. Right-footed back towards Mendes. Paris Saint-Germain with Neves now. Patiently play the ball out towards Hakimi. This is Lee. Everybody wants a touch. The Liverpool supporters increase the volume here at Anfield on 5 Live. 90 seconds of extra time remaining. But the drama might not be over just yet if the penalty shootout is to follow. Doué. Left-hand side, Vitinha. Ball played back, out towards that far side for Hakimi. Lee goes down off the challenge on the edge of the area. Referee says get to his feet. He's been strong, the referee.
Yeah, he has. He's not backed down to anything. He's been strong in his decision-making. He's refereed the game extremely well. Could this be the last roll of the dice now for Liverpool?
Gonzalo Ramos is going to be coming on, a teammate of Darwin Núñez from their time together at Benfica. It's a striker who's going to be coming on for the... just before the game finishes, get him on the field of play. I think his Luis Enrique's thoughts as a shot from Mendes was a wild one, charged down behind for a corner kick to Paris Saint-Germain, and by my watch we're inside the last 25 seconds of extra time, and João Neves is the player who's going to be coming off for Gonzalo Ramos to come on.
Yeah, this will be a penalty substitution, won't it, making sure he's ready to take a penalty.
We will have 1 minute of additional time. Ramos races on to the field of play. Paris Saint-Germain with 3 giant flags. In fact, I can see a Portuguese flag that has been waved in the direction of Ramos. The corner is taken short. On the left-hand side, back to Mendes, infield. Vitinha looks for the ball over the top, and it will run out of play for a goal kick, and that might well be it.
I think it might well. Liverpool will be happier in this second half to make sure that they extend this and go to penalties. They've struggled with fitness in the second half. They've looked tired. Paris Saint-Germain have looked a better team.
Thought the referee had blown his whistle. Some of the stewards did too. They were actually racing onto the field of play as Alisson waits to take the goal kick. There was 4 of them that came on there. As there is the referee's final whistle. The extra time is over. We've got a penalty shootout on BBC Radio 5 Live. The front page of L'Équipe this morning said mission possible. Well, Paris Saint-Germain have won, but whether they progress, we will find out after a shootout. They've won by a goal to nil. Penalties now will decide who goes through to the quarter-finals. Mark.
And the French champions probably had the better of that extra time period, really, didn't they, Stephen?
Yeah, they did. They were really positive in the way that they approached the half. I said in the commentary there, it just felt like they preserved a little bit of energy in that first half of extra time, soaked up the pressure, could have possibly found themselves behind, but it was a gamble that they took, and then second half of the extra time, they were by far the better team.
It's not often, actually, that Arne Slot's substitutions are out-substituted by the opposition, but that actually is what it felt like this evening, really.
Yeah, it did a little bit. The impact of the subs hasn't really worked today, but it's such a difficult game because of the quality of Paris Saint-Germain. But Curtis Jones just struggled to get up to pace. Darwin Núñez didn't really have a huge impact on the game, but listen, they'll have fallen behind early on in the game. They'd have known this would have been a difficult task for them against Paris Saint-Germain, and now it's just a toss of a coin and penalties. Who can keep the nerve?
Luis Enrique, I don't know if you can see him in the middle of that huddle, Ian, he's kind of got a tactics board and a marker pen. I don't know if he's held the marker pen up. I don't know if he's about to write the names of the players on his tactics board. Maybe I don't think you really need a tactics board by the time you get to this stage, do you?
Do you at this stage, Stephen?
No, I think he will know his penalty takers already. I think it's just a case of, I think the mindset of be positive. You know where you want to take your penalty. Don't change your mind. Accept that that's the position you want to put the ball into, or the place you want to put the ball into, and then just trust the execution.
Donnarumma went into the changing room, actually, and has just come back out of the mouth of the tunnel now with a towel. I couldn't work out whether he had an iPad under his towel or not, but who knows? At the moment, you're watching the coin toss, Ian.
Yes, we are. Donnarumma as well is just lurking behind the referee. So Istvan Kovac, the Romanian official, is just having a word with the two captains, Hakimi and Virgil van Dijk, which end it will be. I know if they win the toss, which end they will not want it in front of the Kop, will Paris Saint-Germain, as the Paris Saint-Germain players now have all just moved in towards the centre circle.
Hakimi pointed to, I'm guessing, the Paris Saint-Germain end.
Yeah, Donnarumma walked off that way, and there was a loud cheer from the Paris Saint-Germain players, and now he is pointing towards that end.
And now Hakimi actually is whipping up the Paris Saint-Germain crowd. The Liverpool supporters respond as well.
Dave has a couple of stats which could either be really pertinent for the next 10 minutes or completely pointless.
Could be completely pointless. Donnarumma's save percentage is 26%, Alisson's is 25% when facing shootouts. PSG have taken 7 penalties this season and scored all 7. So Vitinha, Goncalo Ramos and Ousmane Dembele all with a 100% record. The last statistic, 55% of teams that take the first penalty go on to win the shootout. That'll be a load of rubbish, Mark, but I thought we'd give the listeners something.
So the goalkeepers basically have identical save percentages.
Very close.
And it's 55-45 whether you go first or second?
Yes.
Wow. With that insight, back to you.
Thank you, Mark. It is going to be the Anfield Road end away towards our left-hand side. Paris Saint-Germain will be going first. It will be Vitinha who waits for the arrival of Alisson. And talk about percentages and everything else. Donnarumma, I recall, making 2 penalty saves when Italy beat England at Wembley in the Euro final a few years ago. Alisson, all in yellow on his goal line. Some of the Liverpool supporters in the bottom end of that Anfield Road end are waving their red and white scarves. Vitinha, who had that lone spell at Wolverhampton Wanderers, waits to take the first kick. It's a penalty shootout. It's live on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's the Champions League to see who goes through to the quarter-finals. Creeping his way forward is Vitinha. It was low right-footed, wasn't the most powerful spot kick, but it crept its way past Alisson.
Incredible technique from Vitinha. He almost walks up to the ball and he's got his eye on Alisson. He's watching him all the way and he just strokes it into the bottom right-hand corner. Alisson gets a fingertip on it, but it's not enough to prevent it going in the goal.
Mo Salah, whose penalty record for Liverpool, he's scored 8 of his 52 penalties. But that doesn't include spot kicks, but that just gives you an indication of how prolific he is from this sort of distance. Donnarumma moves from side to side, all in green on his goal line. It's a straight run up for Mo Salah. His hands are on hips. He then moves away to his right, left-footed, and rifles the ball past Donnarumma. He scored 2 against Southampton here at the weekend. He wasn't going to miss 1-1 in the shootout.
No, he had 2 penalties in that game and he had to think about which side he wanted to put it in, and he goes to his left, the side he went with on his first penalty against Aaron Ramsdale of Southampton. Donnarumma, he stayed still. He thought Salah was going down the middle.
Gonzalo Ramos is the player who's only just come on. He came on for the last 60 seconds of that second period of extra time. Portuguese international, formerly of Benfica, a teammate of Darwin Núñez. Slow walk up after placing the ball down on the spot. Ramos waits. Ramos runs forward now, sends the goalkeeper the wrong way. right-footed, finds the bottom left-hand corner. Paris Saint-Germain lead 2-1 in the shootout.
Yeah, well, how many times have we seen a substitution made to come on and take a penalty? And so often they're not warm, they haven't had a feel of the ball. But Ramos, he drills it into the bottom left-hand corner, reverses the ball. Alisson dives the wrong way. Quality penalty.
They shared a dressing room in the Estadio de Luz. They didn't even exchange a glance as they bypassed each other. As Ramos walks back, walking forward was Darwin Núñez. Recall him hitting the post for Liverpool from a penalty against Chelsea. His cry, his name being chanted here by the supporters as he waits. Donnarumma on the goal line this time, doesn't move as much as he did for Salah. Stuttering run up from Núñez. Donnarumma makes the save. Gets the right way, dive to his left, and Paris Saint-Germain have the advantage in the shootout as they lead by 2-1.
You just had the feeling as Darwin Núñez walked up to the ball, there was a sense of anxiety amongst the Liverpool fans. They felt that his season hasn't gone his way. Well, it doesn't go his way with this penalty. Tries to bend it into the far right-hand corner. Donnarumma's at full stretch. It's an excellent save from the Paris Saint-Germain goalkeeper. It's not the worst penalty from Darwin Núñez, but Liverpool find themselves behind.
Ousmane Dembélé, whose goal in the first half, a little tap in at that end of the ground at the Anfield Road end, now waits to take this penalty kick. Alisson needs to produce some heroics for Liverpool. Dembélé comes forward now, right-footed. Alisson dived the right way to his left, but it went very, very high, and he goes off to celebrate with Donnarumma.
You aren't saving that. That is quality of the highest order from Dembélé. He started his run up, he arced it round to the left-hand side, comes onto his right foot, and he blasts it into the side netting, but it's high enough to go over the dive of Alisson. Alisson was getting nowhere near that whatsoever. Class.
So Curtis Jones has to score to keep Liverpool in this shootout. Otherwise, Paris Saint-Germain will have a cushion of 2. Very precise steps back from Curtis Jones. Donnarumma, his presence looms large. Jones runs up now, and Donnarumma again makes the save. Low down, strong right hand to his right. Liverpool have missed successive spot kicks, and Paris Saint-Germain are on the verge of going through.
Well, he's just such an imposing figure, isn't he, Donnarumma? He fills that goal, and he guesses right. Curtis Jones with a slow run up, a stutter, stops before he hits it, and then right-footed goes for the reverse into the bottom left-hand corner. Donnarumma spots it and then just gets a huge, strong hand on it, down to his right-hand side. Big save from the Italian.
This will clinch it for Paris Saint-Germain. And it is the 19-year-old forward, Desire Doué, who places it down. They're waiting to celebrate in expectation behind that goal. Stuttering run up by Doué, and he scores! Blasts the ball past Alisson. Paris Saint-Germain players head for Donnarumma, who drops to his knees as they all go to congratulate the giant Italian goalkeeper. A flare has been let off in the Paris Saint-Germain half, and Paris Saint-Germain have achieved what no other side has ever achieved before. When Liverpool have won an away first leg, they have always progressed in European competition. But at the 40th time of asking, it is Paris Saint-Germain who go through on a penalty shootout. They prevail, and they will be going through to the last 8.
The scenes and the celebrations tell you everything. Luis Enrique, he stormed across to Donnarumma to celebrate in front of his fans. He knows how much that means. The Paris Saint-Germain players, they know they've been in a game tonight. They knew it was going to be difficult. They've been exceptional tonight. It's been a game of the highest order. But you have to say, Paris Saint-Germain were outstanding. They held the nerves in the penalties. You just get that feeling now, whoever won this game could potentially go on to win it. You think they'll get to the final. A game of the highest order.
Well, Paris Saint-Germain had previously lost their last 4 in England. They might be coming back to these shores if they are to meet Aston Villa in the quarter-finals. but they have knocked out the favourites. And Liverpool now will have to dust themselves down and regroup for the League Cup final at the weekend. But it is Paris Saint-Germain, and they always had the confidence they would be able to do it after the disappointment of last week, and that they have. They've had to go the whole hog, but they've knocked out Liverpool in a penalty shootout after it finished 1-1 in aggregate, 4-1 in the penalty shootout.
Let's do bigger picture first of all, shall we? Stephen, Ian, Statman here as well. They have been... That tie overall has been such a sensational tie with two phenomenal games of football.
Yeah, two incredible managers who've tactically set the teams up in ways to hurt each other, find solutions, try and nullify what they're trying to do. And the players have been exceptional. Both sets of players over the two legs have been incredible. The quality that we've seen at times, not only from a point of view of the way that they've attacked, but defensively as well. Yeah. We've seen two outstanding performances from Alisson last week and Donnarumma tonight. And it's been a privilege to be at both games, because they are teams of the highest order, them two.
And maybe on the balance of the two legs, Stephen, you've done both the games. Paris Saint-Germain have deserved it?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you think of the opportunity or the chances created, I think the performance from Paris Saint-Germain in the first half tonight, they edged it. Liverpool were better in the second half. Then you look at the second half of extra time, I thought Paris Saint-Germain were brilliant. But overall, I'd just say, I mean, it's very difficult to say when you look at the stats and everything, but to the naked eye and just watching the game, I thought Paris Saint-Germain probably just edged it.
Just in terms of those two goalkeeping performances that you mentioned, both of them being brilliant. Over the two legs, Alisson made a whopping 16 saves, preventing expected goals of 3.23, which is ridiculous. And we kept on seeing Donnarumma punch it. 8 punches today, which is the most of any goalkeeper in the knockout stages so far. Big performances in between the sticks for both of them.
But he more often than not tends to punch it straight back out into the middle of the penalty area, doesn't he, Stephen? He's an enigma, is Donnarumma. I mean, stick him in a penalty shootout and crikey, you're going to have an advantage. And look, he makes great saves. But you do have an air of nervousness around him as well, don't you?
Yeah, I said it in the commentary a couple of times that he's got that unpredictability about him, and he does seem to have an error in him at times. But that was a really strong performance from Donnarumma. He was probably at fault for the Harvey Elliott goal in the first first leg. I thought he probably should have saved that. But when you needed a player to stand up and be counted, some of the punches tonight under pressure, not trying to claim them, not trying to show off in any way, just doing a simple thing, big punches, making sure that they cleared the lines. It's been a really positive performance. They're letting themselves down a little bit here, Paris Saint-Germain, on the pitch though.
Hakimi had got a flag and he went to walking towards the centre circle. It was a Paris Saint-Germain flag that he wanted to try and show off inside the centre circle. The Liverpool supporters took exception to that. A lot of the Paris Saint-Germain players have actually gone down the tunnel, but Luis Enrique, Mark, is actually saying to them, no, don't leave the field of play, come back and celebrate in front of your supporters. So a lot of them are now going to come back down the tunnel to continue their celebrations.
Okay, the cameras at the moment that I've got in front of me just focusing on Donnarumma as he does head towards the tunnel. Just on the penalties themselves, Stephen, and look, nobody deliberately misses a penalty, and I'm not having to go at the players who did miss a penalty here. What I'm more interested in is the order that Liverpool put their penalty takers in, or who else was going to take the penalties, because given I don't know what Darwin Núñez confidence is like at the moment. But there's probably more of an air of nervousness around Anfield if he's stepping up to take a penalty than maybe certain others. Would you agree?
100%. You could feel it as soon as he was walking forward. There was just a sense of, oh no, that's probably not the right option. I mean, I look at Van Dijk and his penalty taken, and when he takes a penalty, he hits a ball and it stays hit. It's just incredible.
I think you've got Van Dijk, you've got Gravenberch still on there, you've got Cody Gakpo on there as well. Yeah. It's just I don't know, it just struck as a psychological thing, slightly odd.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Mark, I'm not going to say anything about anyone who takes a penalty. I hate taking penalties, and all credit to them, but I get what you mean. It's that confidence when you walk it up. I look at Curtis Jones, wasn't at his best in the game, but Curtis is a very confident boy, and he felt that he could take that penalty. So listen, I tip my hat to the people that do that. It's just one of those situations. The other thing that you can't take into account is I'm sat here watching Donnarumma, I'm thinking, wow, look at the size of him, how imposing is he in that goal? Where am I going to put this? If he dives the right way, he stands a great chance of getting it. I mean, the guy's a monster.
What? I'm laughing because Dave said to me, when he doesn't do much to intimidate them, does he, Donnarumma, when they come up to say the penalty? To which my response was, he's massive. Does he have to do much more?
But it was almost a weird look. He was giving the taker as coming like he wasn't even bothered. And then, as you mentioned, Stephen, as soon as the taker's there, his hands are up and he's making himself look massive. But it was almost a bit nonchalant in the sense of, I don't care who's coming up here. I'm just going to kind of be in my own zone and then make those big saves.
Yeah, but I think the idea behind that is to stand as slim as you can to start with. Ball goes on the spot. Now put a doubt in the mind, then you spread yourself, then you make yourself big and make it awkward and make the goal look smaller. You don't do that whilst they're walking forward, because then you just do it when the ball's on the spot and put that doubt in the mind in the last seconds.
How do you reflect on Liverpool then over those two legs?
I think they'll be disappointed in the first leg the way they went at the game, but they came out with an ideal European away leg performance where they pinched the game 1-0. I thought the approach tonight was really impressive in the first 10-15 minutes or so, and they scored the goal against the run of play. Paris Saint-Germain, the Liverpool team, were the intensity, the way they pressed, the opportunities that they created, and then Paris Saint-Germain grew into it after scoring the goal. I think Liverpool felt just a bit like, oh, that's the danger, those counter-attacks. Second half, I thought Liverpool was superb. I thought the way they dealt with the situation. Jan Mulby was just down in front of me just then talking, and he just said their substitutions were better, had a better impact, and that's exactly what you said, and that was the case. I thought that Darwin Núñez didn't have an effect on the game. Curtis Jones was poor when he came in. I actually thought Jarrell Kwanzaa was superb when he came into the game. I thought some of the runs he made, some of the interceptions he made, but is he going to change a game in the way that he plays? Well, he nearly did, because he nearly scored he hit one off the post, and he nearly scored one near post. So, but you need more in attacking areas.
Gakpo didn't do much either, did he, when he
didn't
came
look fit.
No.
He didn't look fit at all. Gakpo, he struggled to get back into position. Recovery runs were poor. It just seemed almost like a bit of a wasted substitution from Liverpool.
In a sense, PSG are kind of they've built their squad out for this competition. You're thinking Desiree Doué has come off the bench, 2 shots on goal, 2 chances created, but also Zaire Emery. There's 2 players of unbelievable quality in central midfield and in the attacking areas, whereas the impact, as we've mentioned there, from Liverpool wasn't as big today.
I'll come on to Paris Saint-Germain in a moment, and hopefully Julien Laurent will join us for the last few minutes.
He's in the crowd.
Is he?
He's gone. We've lost him. You can't count on him. He's celebrating.
And then Tony Livesey will be here at 11 o'clock. The bigger picture for Liverpool is, look, it's not going to affect them as regards the league title, is it, Stephen? But with the cup final on Sunday, they've gone to extra time. They've gone out, and there are 2 or 3 players that they may have injury queries about.
Yeah, it looks like Trent Alexander-Arnold will potentially miss that semi-final with that injury. That's a concern. I think Konate was more cramp, if I'm being honest, Mark. I think he went down a couple of times in quick succession. He was getting stretched quite a lot in that second period of extra time, or was it first? Sorry, and. A little bit lost now, we've done that long. But I just think that will be fine. But going into that cup final now, it's how do you approach that? Yes, they've got that opportunity where they've played on a Tuesday, you can get a little bit more rest time in. It's all about that recovery now, and it's trying to put a positive spin on it and go and win a first bit of silverware, follow it up with the Premier League, and it's still a great season for Liverpool.
I mean, Newcastle have their own issues as well, Ian, let's not forget.
Yeah, they do. Botman's out. Gordon, of course, is suspended. So they've
Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall is out for the season as well. But Stephen said in the commentary, the fact that Liverpool here have gone to extra time and a penalty shootout, they've picked up injuries. It might just still benefit Newcastle a fraction, but Eddie Howe won't be bothered about that. Eddie Howe will just be concentrating on what Newcastle do. Obviously they were playing last night at West Ham, but for Liverpool they'll have to dust themselves down, because it's a short turnaround to get back. I mean, Gakpo's missed the last 2 before today with an ankle injury, didn't look fit.
Sorry, were you waving at me?
No.
Oh, right.
I was just when you look at this game and kind of break this one down with Liverpool and how well they defended in that first leg, and you think about Nuno Mendes in his performance against Mohamed Salah, that was a big moment in the game, in a sense. The player that's been so good this season, Mohamed Salah could have the best season ever in Premier League history. So real credit to how PSG dealt with him over the 2 legs.
Let's bring Julien Leroy in, who I'm told is in the Anfield press room. Are you really, or have you gone to a local pub?
No, it's not time for celebration yet. So I'm in where the press conferences are.
Okay.
Just there while nobody's there.
I would say you may say it's not time for celebration yet. The Paris Saint-Germain players are still celebrating on the monitor that I've got in front of me.
Yeah, I heard them as well. I was in the kind of the tunnel when they came back into the dressing room. Nobody really, they believed they could do it, but there was not really many people who thought they could come here against this Liverpool team and put on a performance again that could be good enough to come back into the tie, first of all, and then win and qualify from one way or another. And this is a very young team, I think the second youngest in the competition. For them to show the character, to score early, then they weathered the storm at time. Of course, the start of the first half, the start of the second half, but I thought the extra time really summed up how good they've been in those 2 games, and I really believe that they deserve to go through over the 2 games.
Look, they're in a nightmare half of the draw of Paris Saint-Germain. It could be Villa next. Real Madrid and Arsenal are in this half of the draw as well. But for the club, and we've talked a lot over recent months about the path that Paris Saint-Germain have chosen to go in, for the club and its future, how big a win is that?
Oh, this is huge. This is one of the biggest wins in the history of the club. Chappers is to almost validate the progression of this team, and also this, we've said many times on the shows, but also this the new direction the club took by just not signing anymore the Messis and the Neymars and the Mbappés, going younger, more cohesion in the team, more that everything we explained before the game. A win like this is huge. It's huge for the confidence. It's huge because you've beaten the best team in Europe. So now you're going to believe you can beat anybody over 2 games. But it's just massive for what I could do for this team, but also for the whole Luis Enrique project, really. And it's the way they did it too. It's the way they played in the first leg. Okay, they were unlucky, they lost that game. It's the way they came here, and the way they played, and the way they kept the ball, the chances they created. Yeah, it was not perfect by far. And Liverpool are, as we've been saying, the best team in Europe still tonight. This is not because they lost on penalties tonight that they're not anymore. But for PSG to come here and win something that no French clubs had ever done before in all the knockout games in European competitions is something exceptional.
I think over the 2 legs, Stephen, and I think you probably feel this as well, it's difficult to think of a Paris Saint-Germain player that you don't enjoy watching.
Very true. I think when you look at the back line and you look at
Pacho's just absolutely fantastic. It's just great to watch.
Yeah, and the great thing is that when we look at centre backs, and there's a guy on my monitor in front of us now, Virgil van Dijk, you think of stature, you think you've got to be big, you've got to be tall, you've got to be able to win headers. He's an aggressive defender in different ways, but also very good on the ball. But the speed and the agility to recover into positions, 1v1 defending, he's outstanding. I love the balance in midfield. I think Vitinha is just a joy to watch when he's on the ball. He looks so confident. And João Neves, 20 years of age, just the confidence to play with the way that he plays. But no, every player that you look at in Paris Saint-Germain will get into most teams in the Premier League.
That's what we've said as well, isn't it, Jules? They've still spent money. They may have got rid of some of their superstars, but you actually can't fault their recruitment at the moment.
No, absolutely not. Certainly not last summer and not in January with Kvaratskhelia. Okay, tonight was maybe not as good as last week, but there's a tackle that he makes, I think, in extra time when the ball is about to go to Mo Salah on the counter-attack for Liverpool and almost celebrate like a goal. And this is also what this team is about. But Pacho, you're right, immense. He was one of the best defenders, centre-backs in the Bundesliga last season, so it's not coming from nowhere either. But João Neves, I agree with Warney. João Neves for me is the one really, because Vitinha is a lovely player, but he's been for a while now. He's a Portugal international. But for João Neves at that age, to show that maturity, to show that control, and really again in midfield today, he was not as one-sided as he was last week. But then the PSG midfield tonight, first with Ruiz, and then I thought Zaire Emery, when he came on, he just turned 19 on Saturday, was also outstanding.
Enjoy your evening, Jules.
Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.
Will you? Dave?
Just a tiny one on Vitinha. Over the two legs against Liverpool, he played 225 passes and he completed 212. Ridiculous.
Virgil van Dijk has said missing penalties are part of football. Luckily, there's a beautiful chance to win a trophy on Sunday. Today we were a much better Liverpool side, but unfortunately we are out of the competition. Our response needs to be a victory. If we can play with the same intensity as we did in regular time, there'll be a great result. All focus needs to be on recovery because we face a good Newcastle side. Highlights of tonight on BBC One tomorrow from 10:40 with Gabby. Tomorrow we'll bring you Aston Villa against Club Brugge. All the build-up from 7, full commentary from 8. Tony Livesing is next on 5 Live.